Hey, welcome. We're just getting started, waiting for people to come in, waiting for our guests. But welcome to the NFT Filmmaker Squad. It might take a couple minutes. Usually we start pretty slow. Hi, some people are here. Hi, guys. Hey, Ian. Hey, Jason. What's happening? Squad showing up. What's up, Sophie? I hope Sophie has enough Wi-Fi. So,
Hello, how you doing? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, everybody. Uh, we are just waiting for a few people to show up before we bring people up stage. Uh, if you just came in, Knight, you're the only one I see in here aside from our regular um, squad. Welcome to the NFT Filmmaker Squad. Today we're spotlighting a few of the people from our class of 2021, and two of them are here now, Ian and Jason. Um, David Bianchi will be here at some point, and Jay Harry will be here on the second hour, and Lauren Washington will be coming through today as well. They've all confirmed. So welcome. If you want to retweet the tweet and get people in or remind them that's happening, this is we've taken a couple weeks off for the holidays, and anyway, hi guys. Let's chop it up. How you guys doing?
Hi, I'm here having some coffee, just breathing nice and easy.
Are you actually breathing? You feeling all right?
The last time I checked, I'm still alive. I'm doing okay. I cooked a little breakfast this morning, and it actually, like, why am I tired from cooking breakfast? But I feel all right. Coughing's a little lessened. Had a good night's sleep last night. Coffee in hand and ready to go for the new year. Let's fucking go.
Let's fucking go.
Let's do it. Let's do it. What up, y'all?
Hey, Ian. Well, Jason, if you didn't know, we're just blasting it out there. Is getting over COVID.
Yeah, I'm not even embarrassed about it anymore. Everyone in Southern California has it right now. Like, I know like a dozen people, and it took 2 years, and it's been very mild. So, who cares? Yeah, I got it. I tested positive a couple of days ago, so I'm staying at home and resting up and making some moves and planning out the new year. Let's fucking go.
Listen to all that fucking energy that you have for someone with COVID is amazing. Hey, Landy. Well, since there are a few of us here, a couple people, and we'll bring people up in a little bit. We're waiting for David Bianchi to arrive. And like I said, Jay Harry will be here in the second hour. And Lauren also said she'd be here. She might be a little bit late. I think she's got school. But anyway, welcome to the NFT Filmmaker Squad, and we're psyched that you're here. If you don't know about us, we have been trailblazing in the NFT space now for about 11 months, pretty much every week except for a couple of holidays, and in those holidays, we basically took some time off. As you know, the NFT space can be super, super intense. So being able to find that time off is really important, I think, for our art and our work. If you want to join the community, we have a Discord. You can find the link to that in my link tree, and the community is growing. It's a lot of fun, and in fact, there's a project that is being launched right now by the community, and I'm super proud of and just super psyched that a lot of the community members have decided to create something, and so it's called the Film Spool, and you'll see it under projects in the Discord. So anyway, welcome you guys. If you want to tweet out what's going on, I'm gonna take a second, Sophie. I'm gonna hand it over to you while I just go ping David, who retweeted it a little bit earlier. So I'm just gonna make sure that he's wide awake.
Cool. Well, I'll just say hello to everyone. 2022, let's get going, right? It's really nice to take this opportunity to look back at some of the people that we were able to spotlight in 21. And I think it's actually when you start looking at like class of 21 as an overall class, you start seeing the variety of work and of approaches coming through. and that's super exciting. So I think to have the chance to look at everyone today kind of next to each other is super exciting, because as we know, the NFT space, particularly for film, is still so kind of rapidly evolving, and there's so many different possible approaches. And yeah, I mean, we're still learning. Like as you all will have seen, Jordan's starting to get her project going, which obviously we're all super psyched about. I'm starting to think about it and trying to take inspiration off everyone else here, basically. So I guess maybe before we get fully going, just for the people who are coming through already, Ian, Jason, do you want to maybe like intro yourselves a little bit, talk about just give a brief sort of like 1-2 sentence intro of the projects that we spotlighted over 2021?
I think it's a great idea. In fact, why don't we start with Ian, because one of the reason I want to do Spotlight Trailblazing Class of 2021, and just to riff off of you, Sophie, is the fact that really, if you think about what we were talking about 10, 11 months ago, we were talking about like how in the world do we do this? And so many people came through with so many incredible, innovative ideas. I mean, we think about like, Kamani's tokenomics, and then Bianchi and Jay Harry being two of the first that actually minted on the blockchain. But then Ian came through with a really cool idea that we spotlighted, and yeah, a couple sentences before we actually dive in, Ian, would be great, and then Jason, we'll go to you.
Yeah, sure. Glad to be here. Ian Grant, the decentralized producer, and I highlighted and came up with a concept called the decentralized producer, which pretty much fractalizes the executive producer credit, and that back into this whole concept of creator equity and giving more ownership to makers and creators and everyone involved in creating a project. I first I've gone on to further kind of develop that into a concept, and incorporating kind of my whole studio model of like Granting Wishes Studios, which is a decentralized kind of studio, as well as putting a metaverse theater in the metaverse, so a full functioning cinematic experience where filmmakers will be able to actually sell tickets, films, have showings and red carpet premieres and things of that nature. And so, really excited to just roll right into 2022. The decentralized producing model is going to be a working product and model for Granting Wishes Studios that is a hybrid of everything that we kind of talk about, right? And NFT filmmakers, Kimani's LMO structure, taking components of that, taking other components that I've come up with, and creating this fractionalized ownership, decentralized model. So excited for what's to come and creating a system for filmmakers to use and tooling that filmmakers can leverage to further tell their stories and retain ownership.
That's so cool. I definitely want to dig in deeper into that today, especially for some of the new people that are coming in. And in fact, I recognize a lot of new faces in here, along with some of the regular squad. Jason, we've met Jason originally around. Well, actually, Jason, you said that you had seen us doing spotlighting Brian and Christopher Maloney, and then Jason came in. Just like guns blazing with Nifty Film, and he has some cool stuff going on too. But Jason, before we jump into like updating what the fuck you're doing, introduce yourself.
Sure. Hi, everybody. Hi, new faces. Glad to see everybody here for the new year. It's going to be a very exciting year. It's going to be a very busy year for all of us, I'm sure. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Jason Charnick. I'm an independent filmmaker out here in Long Beach, California, just south of Los Angeles, originally from New York. My first feature, Getting Over, was a documentary about my father and his drug addiction, and it world premiered at South by Southwest in 2018. And that kind of leveled up my career to the next level. And then over the past couple of years, I've come to discover just how still hard it is to work 20 years and then just get to the level of where you have to, just keep busting ass, because, that's what we're doing here as independent filmmakers, is trying to build sustainable careers. And that's what I'm doing here. And so, yeah, just last, I don't know, March or so, we were all kind of locked up. just been I've been seeing TikToks about OpenSea and NFT this, NFT that, crypto this, crypto that. Decided to jump in. And yeah, I think it was in March, I suppose, that, boy, the year went by really quick, that the Filmmaker Squad and Jordan featured Brian Taylor, who directed the feature film Crank and some other stuff, and Christopher Maloney from Law & Order, who was in his little short movie Out, that is available as an NFT on OpenSea, and it just sucked me right in. It's a whole new paradigm. It's a whole new concept of film ownership, and I love it because I'm a collector. I collect baseball cards and sports memorabilia and autographs and stuff. So the whole collectability aspect immediately sucked me in. Was very lucky to talk to Gary Vee about it for like a half an hour, and that sucked me right in. So here I am, ready to rock the new year. We'll talk about, the stuff that I'm working on in a little bit. It's nice to meet the new faces. Nice to see the old faces, and I'm not one for the GM and the friends and the sir spelled incorrectly and all that, but the one thing I'm all about right now, and the one thing I'm all about for 2022 is let's fucking go. So nice to meet you guys.
And this is Jason before coffee. I just want you guys to know.
This is a sick Jason without coffee.
This is
Jeez.
COVID.
Oh, man. I'm telling you.
Dude, you're hilarious. You bring such great energy. So for you guys who are new, thanks for pulling up. I'm going to just do a very quick reset here. The NFT Filmmaker Squad started about 10, 11 months ago. And what happened was I was running a room on Clubhouse called Elevating Women in the NFT Space. And, people, it was an epic room, if anyone remembers that. And a few women actually pinged me and they were like, oh, hey, I'm in media, television, film, or whatever. And I was like, oh, yeah, there's a crew of us. And we're going to start talking about. So I invited to join me in the squad and on Wednesdays to start just figuring out how we could maximize and explore this new ecosystem. So a big shout out to Sophie and Elle and Landy and Corinne, who will be here momentarily as like the OGs. The OGs, the original goddesses of the NFT Filmmaker Squad. And from there, we just started talking. And one of the first people that we spotlighted was David Bianchi, who just wrote me. He'll be here in a few minutes. And then Jay Harry, who will be here in the second hour. And then little by little, we started making connections with you guys and building community. And while things have changed dramatically since back in March or whenever we started 10, 11 months ago, we're still having a lot of the same questions because we are onboarding new filmmakers and they've got those questions. But the cool thing is they have people like Ian and Jason and Kamani and David and myself and Sophie and Elle and Landy and Lauren, who is here somewhere, but she says her Wi-Fi is going out. And Latasha, who is the queen right now of the video format being on the blockchain. We're here to help you figure out this ecosystem, these pathways with you guys and community, because that's what Web3 is about. So thank you for up. If you want to join our community, we have a Discord. You can find that in my link tree. And I'm super, super excited to meet so many new faces and see us growing. The only other thing I want to say is in a few minutes, if you made a request and you want to come up and be a part of the conversation, we'll start to bring people up. But I want to make sure that we have our spotlighted guests today on the stage. So I see David's here. Welcome, David. How are you doing?
Sorry, man. I was a little backed up on a phone call. Happy to be here.
Yeah, we're psyched to have you. So let me catch you up really quickly on what's happening. We were just telling people about the NFT Filmmaker Squad and how we've been spotlighting people every week for the last 10, 11 months, and how you were actually one of the first spotlighted on your first drop, which we'll get to in a minute. Ian just gave himself an introduction, and Jason, and we're excited to see what 2022 is going to bring. So if you want to give yourself a quick little intro, because I know we only have 45 minutes with you today, and then we'll dig into what you're doing now. But give everyone a little intro on you and And then I'm excited to start chopping it up with you guys about what's happened in the last 10, 11 months for you guys.
Let's go. Happy to be here. So many great faces in this room. Yeah, my name is David Bianchi. I work in Hollywood as an actor and independent filmmaker. I'm also globally known as a spoken word poet. For I'm a member of the Producers Guild, the Television Academy, over 100 professional credits as a filmmaker and actor. And I'm happy to be of help of anybody in that respect outside in the real world. Going back about 17, 18 years, I produced my first spoken word film, which is basically an experimental short film told entirely in poetry that focused on, the American invasion of Iraq at the time. And so since then, I have been producing experimental narratives told entirely in spoken word. And over the course of years of spending, hundreds of thousands of dollars of my own money into these projects, I've built a very large library of them. And this is something that I just did out of my own volition. Got into a lot of festivals, so on and so forth. And then over the course of these years, I sort of created this genre cinema. I trademarked that, and spinning cinema through spoken word, or spoken word cinema. Spoken word is very much akin to music, much more than it is akin to film. And I've searched the world. I haven't found anybody that's producing spoken word films to the degree that I am. Oftentimes enlisting 20 to 25 person crew, anamorphic lenses, very, very highly professional cinematographers, DPs, first ACs, blah, 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 original score, sound design, and everything. I treat them like theatrical grade films. I have to preface that because that's how I entered the NFT space. In April 2021, I minted the first award-winning spoken word film as an NFT, a project called I Can't Breathe, which successfully auctioned to Metapurse. I donated 100% of those proceeds to the George Floyd Memorial Foundation. I felt it morally bankrupt to take fiscal gain off the back of the civil rights movement. For me, it was something that I just did for free, and I'd done these things for free. It's my artivism in the ecosystem. What's important about what I do is that investing in a David Bianchi piece, the utility behind me is that you are investing in social impact. Everything that I create has a sort of social political commentary to it. It is focused on elevating the conversation and moving NFTs away from Bitcoins and lollipops and focusing on real world things, and using significant portions of all my drops. I donate those to 501c3s in the real world that are actually evoking real change. So that's basically my spirit, using NFTs and the blockchain, not only to educate and to entertain and uplift, but also use, a portion of our proceeds to change the world and make it a better place. Since then, I have minted 3 spoken words, 3 Spinema films. My second one was with Malcolm Jamal Warner, directed by Emmy nominee Christopher Fulkins, that also went to Metapurse. My third was the first film to ever have carpet premiere in the metaverse, and is a solo exhibit at the Maker's Place Gallery currently. And I'm pushing the envelope on how far we can take cinema. And currently, I have been seeing on Super Rare. I did a project called The Minstrel, which sold out on Super Rare, and they last about 3 days each on the marketplace, focusing on the historical nature of blackface in America and the minstrel show. And now I'm working on a series that I just started dropping on Super Rare called The Revolution is Being Televised, which is high concept cinematic ones of ones that premiered at Dreamverse and NFT NYC. And also at Art Basel at Scope Miami with Samsung Next and Super Rare. So that's I'm David Bianchi, and I'm happy to be here.
Thanks, David. Thank you so much. It's going to be amazing to get into some of that and some of the journey from April to now. I'm so psyched that you're here, as well as Ian and Jason. Again, Lauren just to me and said that she's having trouble with her router, so I hope she's able to make it, because I think she's doing some really cool stuff as well. Welcome, you guys. If you're just coming in, I see some new faces to the space, and I just want to say we're super happy. We're the NFT Filmmaker Squad, and we are spotlighting on our first space this the incredible trailblazing class of 2021. Without them, I mean, they've been out there experimenting and making it happen for us, and I'm psyched that they're here. If you want to come up, please just make a request, because we're psyched to have you guys be a part of the community and also to be a part of the conversation. So one other thing, we do have a Discord for the NFT Filmmaker Squad. and I'm really psyched to announce that they have self-initiated as a community a project that is just getting on its feet called the Film Spool, and you can come into the Discord, which you can find in my link tree, and find out more about that. So I'm super hyped that you guys are here. And again, if you want to come up, please come up. But I'm going to turn the conversation now to Ian, because I know that Ian has some stuff that he's working on now. Ian, you, since the last time we spoke, we spoke about like the decentralized producer model that you've been working on, and we also talked a little bit about a tool that I was really psyched about, where you would help filmmakers in this, in the, I don't know what you want to call it, in this world of decentralization, how we're going to pay people and things like that. But I also know that you've got this new thing going on in the metaverse where you've got a cinema happening. Do you want to speak to that a little bit and how you've evolved to this place in the last few months?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, when I entered this space, I immediately saw NFTs as a way to free not only filmmakers but actors, everyone, and kind of combat the royalty and residual component of payment. And since then, I've had spun up Filmmaker DAO as well, who his goal is really to create some tooling as well as speaking with Kimani and other folks in the industry about creating a systemized way of controlling and managing royalties and royalties and payments through blockchain and NFTs, as well as rights and distribution. And it's in the early stages of discussing and kind of creating a systemized way of paying people through the blockchain and incorporation and being compliant with SAG and these bigger organizations that are kind of in the space as well, and that control some of these distributions and payments. And so really just laying the groundwork. Again, if you want to join the conversation, Filmmaker DAO, or reach out to me, and we could kind of hash it out. I know Crystal, who's not on here, was asking about it, but pretty much came up with a way where you can control and pay out payments both in fiat and crypto to the right people, properties, organizations, and things of that nature. And it's all controlled on the back end and really just takes a system in place. So creating that framework, something I'm not looking to do by myself and build with everyone in the community, because I feel as though if the community builds it, it has a stronger voice and a stronger impact that can go and impact the entire industry as a whole. And for the cinema, through my production studio and company, I'm putting a fully functioning theater in the metaverse in crypto voxels, where filmmakers will be able to sell tickets, view screenings, sell crypto voxels, wearables, memorabilia, and things of that nature. I'm actually working with Zach to kind of get the page up, the website up, and then we'll be getting the contract and everything that will have GW token utility that would also give percentage of revenue back to everyone who purchases screens and everything of that nature. And so definitely excited about that, because that is going to be a true viable avenue of distribution for every, not only filmmaker, but also NFT filmmaker that wants to then have a semi traditional form of distribution, but able to do it on chain and through the metaverse and actually reach a wide audience of, or a wide, net of audience and viewers.
Oh, I get a question now, not for you, Ian, because I want to riff off of that because David's done it. So
Yes.
And this is really cool because there's some technicals I wanna know here. David, what
Sure
was it
thing.
like premiering in the metaverse?
Terrifying. We go into these things, believing that we can do it, knowing that we can do it, and then you throw the dice out and hope for the best. It's just like producing, it's like you take all your expertise and you put them to the table, and the rest is basically predicting the future, right? Is the sun going to shine? Is it going to rain? Is my grip going to get sick? Is, whatever, is a lens going to bust? There's just elements that are unforeseen. I worked very, very hard to collaborate with people that understood the DCL ecosystem. So, like Category 5 is a DJ, for example. Lostrom, for example, is a highly influential guy in the DCL space. And then working with the DCL devs to basically restructure the Maker's Place gallery and turn it into a red carpet exhibit, from the exterior of the building to the red carpet to the paparazzis, all those elements, to step and repeat, making sure it looked like a real world film premiere, is at least as close as we can get to it. So once we had the structure, then it was like, holy shit, how are we going to get people here? And so that's where I was able to tap into a really, really powerful community in DCL, and off the strength of it being the kind of film that it was, Break the Bars, which is focused on inner city youth, and obviously the philanthropic side of it. When the people at DCL saw it, they were like, "This is a no, let's get behind this." So, you build it and they will come. But this was 16-hour days relentlessly for probably 10 days straight to get this thing off the ground, and really sort of create the spectacle that I think it became. We ended up minting over 2,000 POAPs as a result of the work that we put in. So it was a big collaborative effort. But the takeaway from it all is that it has been done. There is a case study, an actual precedent now, that indicates that people that are in DCL are interested in these kinds of events, are interested in these sort of cultural incubators through cinema and the experiential way to experience film in the metaverse. To me, that's the biggest way. And it was clunky in many ways, because Decentraland is it still has some kinks, technical kinks, and you might end up in the wrong metaversal plane, and there's a lot of times where it would kick you out, and then you'd go back in and then there's nobody there because you're in like the wrong plane of Decentraland, and you have to figure these things out. But overall, it was a glaring success, and we learned a lot about what we can do right. We learned a lot about what we did wrong. So overall, I have nothing but incredible things to say about the team at Maker's Place and the developers at Decentraland. And I think that it's going to continue to move in this direction.
I see. I think that's so awesome. I will have to say that every time I go into Decentraland or Crypto Voxels, I end up in the ocean and I'm in the ocean and I can't find my way out. And I'm not kidding. In fact, my godchild, who's incredible at Minecraft and Roblox, she gets a kick out of watching me get lost and try to find my way back to dry land. But that's super exciting, David, because I think it's really important that we know, and the other filmmakers know, that there's a case study, and then that Ian is literally opening something in Crypto Voxels that will service that. Ian, what do you think about all of that?
Yeah. So, as you know, I have a fairly technical background. So before I even kind of decided, I dug into the possibility, right? I wanted to create a real cinematic experience where the theater would have multiple screens, and that the viewing of the content is gated by, right, the ticket token ID and things of that nature. And I did a lot of digging. I've contacted, and now I'm working with a builder in Crypto Voxel who pointed me in the right direction of the devs, and just digging into the Crypto Voxels docs and things of that nature. It's really something that is going to elevate the experience of going to the theater in the metaverse, viewing content, watching things. And I have a bunch of ideas and concepts that would just kind of create this whole experience. Much like I was at David's premiere. I was, on the red carpet and things of that nature. And so creating those experiences is going to push the envelope for NFT filmmakers, further, and just kind of create more of a brand, whether it's from wearables, tickets, things of that nature, memorabilia from the film, and just having that system and ecosystem utility that can then be used to purchase IP and other things of that nature that the studio and other filmmakers are doing. It's just gonna come back tenfold. And so I'm super excited about the challenges, because much like David said, if you're building something in world, and you're a part of the community, the devs start to listen, the devs start to view, and then help create some use cases, or give you a lending hand. So that's what I really like about it. And so um, I'm not going to say I'm the first, but really creating a landscape that can be something that people can duplicate, something that people can. I don't care about being the first, being the best, right? And so building an in-class world experience that can go on and be duplicated, and other people can go on and if they're ambitious and want to take it on, they can do that as well.
I got a question before. I'm sure other people have questions, but my first question is two things. When do you see yourself launching? And secondly, what will the technical specs be?
Launching wise, February, March. If all goes well. And for technical specs, can you elaborate what you mean and what you're trying, like in terms of the technical specs?
Technical specs as like, how much we have to compress our work down tremendously, right, to get it on blockchain. Certainly not as much as we did back in March and April, but that's always been a thing, right? So the question I have because I don't know yet, but I do know that you and I have talked about the possibility of my film screening, right? So if that's the case, would we be using it straight off the blockchain, or on the IPFS where it's compressed down, or can I use like my high quality 4K Vimeo?
Correct. So the content will be, so you can gate crypto voxels, whereas you would need a certain NFT or let's say wearable or something. So the goal is to really sell the ticket, much like a real movie theater. Don't have the ticket, you can't go view the content. So the video would then be gated behind the actual NFT ticket. So you would actually need to purchase a ticket to view, and then you would need to go to the theater. And then once you have the ticket in your wallet, you'll be able to access the theater and be able to view and watch.
Okay, I got that. Let me ask you. Well, first of all, I just want to say hi to a couple other people. Trish, who is, if you don't know Trish, you need to know Trish. You need to follow Trish because she's the OG.
Trish, what up?
Trish, we got some COVID babies, Trish and Jason on stage now. They're pulling the plague in with us, and then and then Jay, Harry, I'm so glad you're here.
Hello.
Hey, we'll get to you in a second. We're spotlighting, if you just got here, we're spotlighting the class of 2021, the ones that have trailblazed for us to be here, the ones we've talked to on Wednesdays. David, Jay, Harry, Ian, Jason, and hopefully Lauren will get here, but also the OG women of the filmmaker squad, Sophie and Elle and Landy and Corinne, I know is coming. Anyway, we're happy you're here. We think that 2022 is going to be an incredible time for filmmakers and NFTs. And right now we're talking to Ian Grant, who is the decentralized producer, and he's telling us a little bit about his metaverse. Trish, I see you. I'll get you in a second. I know some people might have had some questions for Ian, so if you do, raise your hand. Hi, Landy. Hi, Landy.
Hey.
I see your hand was raised.
Oh yeah, hi. Ian, it's so lovely hearing you talk about all this, and I always get so excited when I hear like techie clever people talking with a passion that, with a creative passion too. And I think that's, for as a creative person and a creative director who always has to work with the antithesis of what I am, so I work with producers who are super organized with spreadsheets and all this kind of stuff, and with operators. And I feel like these rooms and listening to someone like yourself and what you're building and what you're hoping to set up, it's just so exciting. And I saw this meme today that it just reminded me of it, which said, Web 1 is username, password. I mean, everyone might have seen this already, but it says Web 2, connect with Facebook, connect with Google. And then Web 3 is connect wallet. And it made me just think, wow, that is like where the whole world is going, isn't it? It's going to be like you connect your wallet wherever you walk into, and then the tokens that you own in there will be your access and your experience in the world, and if you sort of project that far into the future, it's all so exciting. And like listening to David and like his cinema and just the different ways, and even the red carpet premiere, I was there. I was there wandering around. I thought it looked great, and I thought it was a really, really good job. I could not get the PO-op out of the machine, so much so that I actually screenshotted I actually screenshotted my screen to just be my own POAP to say I was there, right? Because I just thought it was super cool that it was the first film premiere. But yeah, I just think what exciting times. And I've just loved getting to know these women on this top row here with me. And Jordan's just been amazing, pulling us all together and running these rooms weekly, just spotlighting like way back in March, you know. And like I said, David and Jay Harry are one of the first. And we've been taking notes and talking file sizes and platforms and ways in and marketing. And it's such an exciting time for everyone. Yeah. So it wasn't really a question, Ian. It was just like, thank goodness for people like you. That's all I wanted to say.
I appreciate you. Yes. And no, thank goodness for all of us, right? We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Jordan. I didn't stumble across the room in Clubhouse months ago, and I didn't go down the rabbit hole, right? If we didn't all add each other to the Discords, the NFT group on Twitter, right? Like it's just it's a snowball effect. So we're here, we're building, we're linking arms together, and we're stronger together.
We are building, and it's extraordinary. I can't believe that. I mean, yes, we all know that the NFT space moves like fire, and but it's amazing, and I'm just super super grateful for you guys who've been showing up and showing up for each other and showing up for community, because yeah, we are building this together. We're all figuring this out together. I saw Trish had her hand up. I wanted to say hi to Trish, and then we're going to jump to David because he only has about 20 more minutes with us today, and then we're going to get to Jay Harry, and then I'm going to get to the other hands that are up. If you want to come up on stage and chop it up with us, please send a request. And we're so happy you're here. The NFT Filmmaker Squad meets every Wednesday from 1 to 3 Eastern Time, and we also have a Discord that you can find in my link tree. Trish, what's up? Plague Runner.
My hand was up on mistake. I'm not talking today, but I'm here to support. Sorry.
Okay.
Everybody.
No worries. So I'm just going to tell you guys, if you don't follow Trish, you need to follow Trish, because she really is one of the greatest community builders across the board in the NFT world. And she is an amazing advocate for the underrepresented and marginalized communities. And she's been a part of a lot of OG projects. So I'm super grateful for Trish, because she taught me a lot about this space. And anyway, that's it. That's what I'm going to say. Oh, I see Aegis is got their hand up. I'm gonna go to you, and then we're gonna go to David. Aegis, am I pronouncing that right?
Yeah. Hi guys. Thanks for hosting this. Yeah, I come from the music NFT world, and it's cool to see these other industry verticals and stuff like kind of come together. And everyone's at different stages. It's very interesting to see the dichotomies between where visual art started, right? Because NFTs, a large part of that came from the visual art, right? Like the surge of adoption last year, and music slowly has been catching up. But I've also seen now an uptick in film. So I kind of just want to get the general. Obviously, I'm not a filmmaker, or I do actually work with like videographers and stuff. Like I do collabs because I think Web3 is kind of just built like mini teams and creators to just like do cool stuff. So definitely like cross-disciplinary exposure. But I just wanted to know, like, from you guys, what's the next move that I've heard things about, like there was a Decentraland screenings. There's some stuff in Crypto Voxels. That's cool. Just want to know kind of from your community perspective, like where do you guys want to kind of take this next in like the film NFT, I guess, like whatever roadmap, if you want to call that, just kind of like what's in the future. Kind of just want to hear what you guys have to say on that.
Well, that's an excellent question. And you know what? Since I was going straight to David after you, I'm going to let David jump in with some of his thoughts. And also, while you have the floor, David, I want people to know, like, your journey from when you got here to now. Like, you put out, I think, 4 or 5 pieces. I'm not really sure. But I do remember that when you first jumped in, that, I think you're on Ephemera, right? And you had to compress like crazy down, like, right? I mean, like, there was, it was 50 megs or something crazy. But anyway, I'd love for you to answer whatever part of that question you want, and also just tell people your journey to now, and then where you see the space going in 2022.
Sure, I appreciate that. And I do appreciate the question. To touch on the question really, really quickly is that I think that obviously, look, film is an experiential format, right? We oftentimes go see movies by ourselves, and we always feel like fish out of water. If we go see a movie by ourselves, it's because we can't fuck with other people's schedules and we're too busy, right? But for the most part, we watch it with one other person at least. And so, because film is such an experiential medium, it really is a great foundation for community building.
Hello, good
I think
evening.
somebody's mic is hot. I think there you go.
Yeah, I think I got him, but if I didn't, they're gone.
Yeah, because it's such an experiential medium, I think that the metaverse is an incredible place for this to happen, and I really applaud. Um, really applaud, really in, because he's doing some really, really interesting things, and I'm really glad to hear that people were actually at the premiere and seeing what we're trying to build. I want to connect more with people in this room, because I have some big things that are on the event horizon that are really gonna do some shock and awe in terms of film premieres in the metaverse. And I think building a community is really, really important. From a fine art perspective, I think that film is really getting a foothold in the space. People are saying that this is the time for photography and NFTs. I say, fuck that, it's the time for film. It's time for cinema. And using cinema as one of one pieces of art, right? Video art is a real art, and it is natively digital. And that's one of the things that I think a lot of traditional collectors in the space tend to forget or forego. If it wasn't created on an iPad or created on an iMac, it's not considered digitally native, which I think is a complete falsehood, because everything that we do is digitally native, from our first storyboarding to our conceptualizations to how we capture things, whether you're shooting on a Red or an Alexa, whatever format you're shooting on. If you are shooting on celluloid, you're eventually going to do a digital intermediary, which is going to bring it into an online platform and digitize it regardless, and you export. So what we do is inherently digitally native. So I think it's an important thing to think about. My journey into the space started at Ephemera because I was poking around the space and I wanted to enter the NFT space as an artist, but I wanted to be identified by something that I'm mostly widely known for, which was my spoken word film. So I found a platform called Ephemera, which is really off the beaten path and a very small platform focused on lens-based content, photography and motion picture, as it were. And they allow for 250 megabytes. And I was like, okay, this is interesting. I don't know how I can get a 5.5-minute film down to that is exported at 2K, but we're going to work it out. So I basically took what was a 2K file. I toggled the frame size down to 960 by 540, and then I brought the bit rate down to about, I think, 5 to 6 megabits per second to get a relatively lossless image in terms of the size of the player and the viewer in the user interface within Ephemera, to be able to show collectors that they're going to be collecting literally from frame 1 all the way to last frame. You are going to own the NFT for this 5.5-minute socially conscious film that I created. And that was basically a way of sort of backdooring and cracking the code, as it were. And as independent filmmakers in this space, we're going to continue to crack the code because we don't have a choice, right? So, desperation is the mother of creativity. All right. And so when we look around the ecosystem and I say, well, on Super Rare, I have 50 megabytes. That's all I have to work with. That makes me very desperate as an artist, because I do want to work on Super Rare. I do want to bring cinema to Super Rare. But how do I do it in 50 megabytes? So when I conceptualize the revolution as being televised, which I've pinned at the top here, and I hope you guys check it out, the reserve is 6 ETH. So it's not even like the reserve is very high considering my previous sales on Super Rare. I said, well, I've only got 50 megabytes to work with. So doing some technical tests, I said, I can't go beyond 160 seconds and still have a lossless image that will fit into the user interface of Super Rare. If I go to 240 seconds, I'm going to sacrifice image quality and ultimately sacrifice the work, which is the biggest problem in it's religious to do that, right? So I basically wrote at the script stage, 60 to 120-second vignettes that focus on the anonymous mask as our central hero, playing on the notions of how we are conquering the world through artistic revolution, social revolution, technological, and financial revolution. So telling these short, beautiful stories that are super high content. I've had 60 people work on this drop. My visual effects team, we're part of the visual effects team on The Matrix, including other films like Kong and Pacific Rim. And, it's very, very customized and very, very bespoke. Anybody that acquires them, I send you a link to the 4K file and you can put it up on your screen. These are some of the things that we have to face as independent filmmakers, is that we are basically handcuffed by the megabyte limitations of what we can create on. So if we know that to be true, then we know how we have to enter the space, rather than trying to sort of reverse engineer something that is pre-existing, which is part of the problem that I've had to face as well. With my second film, Well, my first film was so popular that I said, well, I want to create limited editions of this piece that I ended up minting on Rarible because I wanted to give community level collectors, people that can afford 0.05 or 0.08 or zero point 0.1, an opportunity to collect this work as well. So that was basically how I came up with the idea of future drops, which was the film is a one of one. And then from the one of one, I created limited editions. So that way, if you could afford 0.4 or 0.3, you could still have access to the utility of my work and still be a part of the social impact movement if you can't afford 5, 6, 7, 8 ETH, right? That, which is like the one of one sales. So it's something that I'm discovering and I'm figuring out as I go. On future projects, I'm already looking at shooting the limited editions on set. So what I've done previously is I've taken stills from the film and then I've embellished them in After Effects to create camera moves within them. And then you hear the sound bed of the film, the score of the film, the spoken word of the film. So you still have a living, breathing NFT with superimposed text that sort of moves with the activity of the film, very much like Tony Scott did with Man on Fire way back in the early 2000s. He was sort of like the pioneer of those hyperactive subtitles. Now I'm looking at when we go into production, I'm going to be shooting limited editions on set with the intention of creating really bespoke limited editions that aren't an afterthought, that are designed as they are designed in production. So, maybe taking an act, putting them on a carousel and spinning them, counterclockwise to the motion of the camera. So sort of creating like live action Avatar, as it were, limited editions of the actual figures in the film. So, and then going into the premiere components of it, how do we really blow that out? Do we get, DJ D Nice to DJ? How do we like make this thing an fucking event, and show the world that cinema is here in the blockchain and that it's here to stay. And, and as to Ian's point, wearables and merchandise and all that kind of stuff could be matriculated into. One more thing that I'm thinking about right now that I'm actually having some high level discussions about is having the first ever feature film to hold a premiere in the metaverse. In other words, what does it mean when we look at metaversal rights, right? Now that gets really, really heady and there's some complex technological hiccups on the back end, because if you put a film on IPFS, that's great. You could see it in the metaverse, but anybody can go to that IPFS, right, click and download, right? Because it's public ledger. But if we can create a world where a film can be acquired for the metaverse, solely for the metaverse, and can't be seen in the real world. Now we're breaking the chains of traditional distribution and common exploitation of how films are released into the world, right? So if there's a way that we can technologically secure things, then I think that really, really create a completely new model as to how we experience film, which is, sorry, movie theaters, you guys fucking get it second. Metaverse gets it first. If you want to see it, and if you want to see this film, punch in with your wallet and let's go from there. Ian, I see your hand up. We should probably have a conversation in the back channels.
No, Dave.
Yes, sir.
I was going to get to Ian in just a second, but I was going to say that, there's a lot of alpha drop there, guys. If you're new and you don't know what's going on in the film world, you got to know that David and and Kamani and Jay Harry and Lauren and Ian and Jason, they have been out there trailblazing. What David just said is super exciting, and there needs to be a moment, David, that we bring you back when this is happening, because I think that you it's very clear to you, and I think it's really a lot of new information for people, and how we need to like absorb information a few times to get it right. That is super exciting. I want to, before you leave, I want to first of all just say hi to Jay Harry and Lauren. Oh, I said hi to Jay Harry. Say hi to Lauren and Kamani. I see your hands up. Ian, I know you have a question for David, and then Kamani will get to you next.
I actually don't have a question. I can't figure out how to take this down. That's my bad.
All right. Ian.
No, I was just gonna say, we can definitely talk. I can let Kimani go because Kimani and I actually had a really, really in-depth, high-level conversation about this probably like a week or two ago. And he, we kind of talked out solutions and just kind of started to map it out. And so we hear you. We're on the same wavelength. And Kimani did kind of already have a structure in place that makes it somewhat possible in combination with the meta theater and all this stuff. So more than happy to continue the conversation, David, in the back channels and really kind of get a framework.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I just DM'd you, and I do, unfortunately, I'm backed up on a phone call at 11 o'clock. And another thing that we also need to think about too, and this is conversations I'm having with some sort of like larger real world organizations is if we look at cinema, fine art cinema as ones of ones, collaborating with maybe the likes of Samsung, collaborating with the likes of Black Dove, collaborating with some really, really interesting organizations where I, for example, am being curated as an artist by the organization to create art that will be preloaded onto NFT programmable screens, right? So if we look at like high net worth guys that are like, they want to own NFTs, they want to have ownership of stuff, but they don't want to deal with mouse clicking and poking around OpenSea. They just don't have the time, right? But they do want to have a collection of really high profile stuff. So what if they want a landscape screen that's installed into their home? Well, they can go, hey, let's go to this organization that has a collection of curated artists like myself or, you know, Elle or whoever else is on the stage, that we're curating art that's going to be preloaded on these screens. Boom, it's already programmable. And that's a great way to sort of break the chains of, you know, one-on-one hustle to sell your art, right? Because as one-of-one artist, that's probably one of the biggest components of it is the constant hustle. So there's a lot of things and a lot of ways that I think film is going to continue to be expansive, and not only how we pre-fund pictures, how we develop pictures and how we release them as well. I got a couple seconds left, so if there's a question, I'd love to take
I got a question. I actually have a question. So when you're talking about like it's, I guess, on Super Rare or even your last piece, did you have to? I think it's on Makers. Is that correct? Your last one?
Yes.
On Super Rare. Yeah. So did they give you your file sizes? Like, I guess.
Well, yeah.
I'm such a techie. Like, what's your compression rates on this one compared to what you had to do back in the day?
Oh, this was like, I'm telling you, like I had orange stars, yellow moons, and green clovers, baby. When I talked to Maker's Place and they were like, hey, David, we can give you 500 megabytes, I almost fell out of my fucking chair. I was just saying, what? Say who? I was so excited because, you know, it's like we work so hard to get these frames right, and compression is such a nightmare in NFTs for all artists, whether you're 4D render, whether you're a Blender artist, 3D, whatever you're doing, we hate compression. And so I was able to do 525 megabytes on chain. And that's, to me, it's just massive. So the gentleman that collected it ended up getting a 1920 by 1080 file, 5 minutes and 32 seconds total runtime. And it was H.264 compression. And I think I ended up doing about 14 megabits per second, which is at 1920 by 1080 is pretty close to lossless. You know, in a perfect world, we want 24, but.
You minted it on chain.
Theoretically, yes.
Or did you put it on IPFS?
No, it's not on IPFS. It's not on IPFS.
Wow.
It is actually on chain. So you can go to OpenSea and you can click on it and you can watch the entire film on OpenSea.
Oh, that is rad.
And that's one of the problems with the IPFS, because it's like, okay, you want to create a one-on-one and offer a one-on-one to a collector, but then they got to click on an image and then they have to go somewhere else, right? Because of the nature of how we do things, you know, you should be able to watch your NFT, your mobile NFT, your cinema NFT on a mobile just like anybody else does. So yeah, it is on chain and it's available in its entirety. It's called Break the Bars for anyone that would love to check it out.
David, I know you gotta go. It's like 1:59.
Yeah, I gotta jump. If at all possible, I would love to continue just to sit in and listen. And if you guys are still going after this call, I'll jump back in.
Sweet. It's great to have you. Thank you for doing so much alpha to everyone. And like I said, you got to come back.
I definitely will.
And repeat.
I definitely will. Love you guys. I'll try to jump back in.
All right. Thanks.
Thank you.
So
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You guys have just come in. This is the NFT Filmmaker Squad. And we have been meeting for the last 10, 11 months every Wednesday and spotlighting the trailblazing filmmakers. David Bianchi, who you just heard talking, is one of them, as well as, in our class of 2021, people that we spotlighted, and Jay, Harry, and Lauren, and Ian, and Jason. I just want to welcome, take a moment, first of all, and welcome all of you guys here and let you know that we're really big on building community, and that's what we've been doing. We do have a Discord. It's in my link tree if you'd like to join. And also, I'm big on macro and micro actions. So if you're not someone that can drop 8 ETH or 6 ETH for somebody's one-of-one, you can also just follow each other and help build community by retweeting. I mean, these micro actions are very important. It's how we've built this community and how we want to know each other and showing up and being there for one another. So please do that. Take a look around. A lot of really great people here. A lot of people that have been building community besides the people we're spotlighting, like Kamani and Shira and Trish, who I think might still be here. But we are here also next week, just to let you know that we're going to be spotlighting Julie Pacino and her piece of work that she has dropped, and we're excited about that as well. So Jay, Harry, and Lauren. Lauren, I see your hand is up, so I'm going to come to you first. And what we've done is just asked you guys to give a quick little hello, tell us about you in a couple of lines, and then we're going to come back and dig into what you guys have been doing for the last 10 months. Hey, Lauren.
Hey everyone, sorry I was late. Been having Wi-Fi troubles all morning. But yeah, my name is Lauren. I go by Low Media. And I'm a filmmaker, photographer. I call myself a multifaceted storyteller because I just love telling stories. And through all of my writing, I like to craft worlds around my work. And getting into Web3, I kind of saw how all of that can be possible. I just finished school at Northwestern. I've been so focused on trying to find my way into the film industry through TV writing and, feature films and all that. And I want to do directing, screenwriting. But getting into Web3 was really cool because I shot my first short film, The Restoration. Restoration, it's a sci-fi drama short exploring grief in near future society. And I decided to do this photo series to kind of explore that. It's a 2-part series. And part 1 is released now on Zora. And through that experience, I kind of really realized how awesome it is to kind of just build worlds around your stories and my work. And so this past year has just been kind of experimenting with that and getting used to that and dreaming about what if I had a video game for my films and all of that. So just been planting those seeds and just really connecting the dots to expand my storyteller universe that I want. But yeah, that's a little bit more about me. I've been making NFTs since February 2020. And this year I'm just excited to finally do all the things that I want to do. I've just been experimenting and meeting incredible people. And so this year it's just, really time to take it up a notch and, crowdfund for a TV show or film and do all the things that, we thought were possible in Web 2. And so, yeah, thank you for having me. And I'm just excited to really, really bring film to the blockchain this year, like everyone in this room has been doing. And yeah, really excited.
Yeah, baby, that is awesome. I can't wait to come back around and talk to you more about it. You just mentioned games, and I know Elle keeps her stuff really close to her sleeve, but she's got some really rocking stuff coming out. Really big ideas like that happening as well. Jay, Harry, my friend, tell us what's
Class of 21 present.
Welcome. It's a while. Yeah, tell everybody a little bit about who you are, and then we'll jump into what's happening now.
Well, all I really wanted to say is that I once heard a jazz musician called Courtney Pine say, "The limit your own imagination." And I'd say that since February, I cannot say that truer words have been spoken. There is literally no possibility of where anyone can go in this space. I'm a photographer, I'm a filmmaker, cut my teeth making commercials at CNN for the best part of a decade, and COVID hit. And as I'd left CNN and started my own production company, things got really bad, especially given that we really focused on travel and tourism. Back in February with Jordan here, I minted the first cinematic films on the blockchain. As David was saying, I went through all these motions of really fighting with the parameters that were set by the platforms and took a big deep dive into what I could do where and how best to bring what I do to the light. But it was very tricky because I felt that film wasn't really getting the recognition as an art form that I think it deserves. And I still don't think it's really there yet. I think we're only scratching the surface. Into these films, they're on Moon Origin. Check them out. It was a real pleasure to be able to do that. But I sort of went one step further. I started thinking a while back that the next step in all of this was going to be brands entering this space. And I still think that has a long way to go. But it's interesting to note that in the top 10 NFT drops on OpenSea in the last couple of weeks, one is Nike and one is Adidas. I mean, we've seen others. But I suspect in the next 6 months, we're going to see a lot more brands in the space. I think it's really important that if these brands are entering this space, the one thing they need to do is to empower artists who were here first. And I think if those two relationships can be universally sort of interchangeable. I think there's a hell of a lot that we can do. I think artists being empowered by brands is really where I have wanted to take this. So my journey over the last sort of 6 months has sort of slid slightly away from film, I guess, in a sense, of my own personal work. But I'm currently working on a project that I'm now at liberty to talk about. I've been...
Oh wait! I got to make you hold up for just 1 second because this is so cool. And yeah. What you're getting ready to like drop on everybody is so fucking cool. So hold up for 1 second because I want to dig in on that. And I just also want to say welcome to a whole bunch of people because there are a lot of new people in here, and I want people to know something about J. Harry. J. Harry found us, I don't know, sometime last spring, and he was like, "Oh, I have this like film that I did on Zora," and I went and saw it. At that moment, it was on Zora. It's on Known Origin now. And I was blown away, and I completely nerded out with J. Harry on like lenses and like because it's gorgeous. The films are gorgeous, and I was like, wow, it's possible to do something truly cinematic. And in fact, J. Harry, I will say that it's because of your pieces that I knew that I could put like my piece that's coming out 3 weeks from today. I knew that I could drop something truly cinematic because of what you did. And so if you guys don't follow J. Harry, please follow him. Take a look at his stuff on Known Origin and get inspired, because he really showed me way back in the day when there were only 50 megabytes that you had to compress the fuck out of your stuff. He showed us what we could do. And so I think he already knows I stan him a lot. And I'm sick what he's getting ready to do. And before I let him speak, I'm basically going to say, if you're new to the NFT Filmmaker Squad, we're here every week on Wednesdays. That is our standing time from 1 to 3 Eastern time. And we are psyched. Hit me up in the DMs. Want to talk shop. If you've got something you think that we should spotlight, join our Discord where we're building community. And the community has self-initiated a new project that they're doing together, which is super cool, called the Film Spool. You can go check that out, see if you want to get involved. And follow each other, everyone, not just the people on the stage, because we are a community, and this is how we build the community, and this is how we make, like what J. Harry said, the art form of film deserves to be celebrated, to be out there as big as those generative projects, as photography, and we're the ones making that happen. So Cole, I see your hand. I'm going to get to you after I let J. Harry share his good news.
I mean, unless Cole had a question.
Maybe he does. Cole, do you have a question?
Yeah, I don't know if it's a quick question, but I've known Ord first time right now, and I was checking out the marketplace. But when you say you minted your entire film on here, like you straight up minted like, what is it, like a short film, like 10-minute video? Like, there's that file?
It's I did 3 films. It's a trilogy, and each one is about 2.5 minutes in length, and their compression was good enough for them to be on Known Origin as file sizes that I think 150 is the limit. I don't know what it is now with Known Origin. I think they might have boosted that. But there are other platforms you can do it on, like NiftyKit, as David Bianchi was saying. There are other platforms that will allow you to upload unlimited. But yeah, Known Origin allowed me to do that. And what I did do is put the UHD file on IPFS and just added it as unlockable content. So anyone that purchases the NFT and edition, they get the ability to download the full 4K resolution. But the conversation I had with Jordan back in the day were, it's not really about K. It's not really about the resolution. It's about the glass, and it's about the bit rate and how you handle your color and your blacks and the way that you manipulate the image is really just the start of it. I mean, if you were shooting something that was, say, 16 mil and you wanted a super grainy look at what you're putting together, it doesn't really matter if everything's not super sharp. We just have to kind of work with the tools that we have. But yeah, Known Origin lets you do that.
No, that's super cool. You know, back in the day, I mean, we just heard David Bianchi talking about he got 525 megabytes. That's kind of what I'm shooting for. I think Zora is going to give me around. I'm going to drop on Zora in 3 weeks, and it's 3 minutes and 48 seconds. And Jason and I are going to compress that little baby down to 500 megabytes for that. Taking into account everything that Jay Harry just said. But back in the day, Jay Harry, I mean, you were talking about like the bit rates and things like that you had to like really manipulate to make it continue to look as beautiful as it does.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy with the result, and I don't think I maybe would have done it if I didn't feel that it lived up to the way I wanted my work to be perceived. But I think it's hard to argue with a full HD sort of 2K resolution file. I mean, it looks as good as I'd want it to be. I mean, these are only the tip of the challenges that I think filmmakers face in this space. And not to bring a kind of dark cloud over this discussion, but I don't know if you remember me having a conversation back in March or April last year about the way in which a modeling agency that I was dealing with just simply shut down the prospect of me putting something out because.
Sorry, I don't know what happened.
Oh.
Yeah, so you're talking about, I absolutely remember that modeling agency. Go on.
So ironically, today, the same thing's happened. I'm actually, on this occasion, I'm reaching out to an agency in London to try and book talent. And they can't get their head around what that means for the rights usage for the person that I want to cast in the film that I'm shooting next week. And this is a real problem. We thought, well, okay, in perpetuity rights and all media platforms would be enough to kind of qualify whatever we're trying to do. And in the process, mint the final product as an NFT film. But because they haven't got their heads around it, they simply can't agree to it. And these are the stumbling blocks that as filmmakers, we have real problems with. And is it our job to educate these people, or is it our job to just sort of work around them? Or is it our job to maybe just choose another path and only work with casting directors and agencies that actually have figured this out? It's a really tough one. So
I was literally trying to explain this to my agent like the other day, Jay. This is exactly like I was like on the other end of it, being like, "This is happening, and like you need to be getting your heads around this." And they were like, "Oh, maybe we should hire you to consult." And I was like, "Yes, you should be doing that," but they don't understand how like big it is yet, and they don't understand how much it's going to change everything. And it's so behind, and it's so like, yeah, I don't know, trying to get them to even understand how it functions, but also just like what a huge deal it's going to be is really difficult because they're just slow.
If they want a revenue split for their talent, it'll be like, fine, give me a wallet address, and then they'll say, well, what's a wallet address? And then you're like, wow.
I mean, we do have to face that. I've always gone around agents, and so like even with my talent, I went, a Screen Actors Guild doesn't give a fuck as long as you just like give them their paperwork, and then they like, they fuck with you for a few months about the paperwork, and then. But I will say that in my contracts, they all say now in perpetuity in the universe, in the world, in the universe, and the metaverse.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I put it in there because I was like, well, I don't. No lawyer. Elle will be the first to tell you that the lawyers don't even really know, right? So.
Well, so Jordan. That brings me on to my next thing, right? So for the last 6 months. And the reason it's taken 6 months is because, first of all, I kicked off with not being able to find a lawyer in London that could get their head around the NFT space. I was approached by this organization in the States called TRISH, the Translational Research Institute for Space Health. And the deputy director there is a guy called James Hurry. He is the nicest people I have ever had the pleasure of not meeting. And through COVID, we have basically spoken daily. And he came to me wanting to understand how they might be able to use the blockchain to secure biometric data. It's kind of my nerdy self got super excited and curious. And the long and the short of it was that I told him it was possible, but not something I really do, and I could make some inquiries, but was really fascinated by the work that they were doing, which was taking data from planned space flights and compiling a sort of mega database, if you like, to help us understand how the human body exists in space. And I went back to him with a proposal saying, I would like to take this data and put it in the hands of artists that work with data. And specifically, Rafiq Adenol and I had been talking for a while, and I shot him an email. He answered me back in about 10 minutes, said, I am in 100%. So for the last 6 months, I've been working with Rafiq on building out an entire series of artworks that are based on both the biometric data, the in-flight data, the telemetry data and vehicle data, and all the audio-visual data captured from the Inspiration 4 mission. And around that, I've been putting my filmmaker hat back on, and I'm been filming interviews and behind the scenes and everything else to help promote this drop that we're now doing in February. And it's really just turned everything around for me. From a production company that was, dare say, struggling through COVID, I've come out the other side as being this sort of connector between brands wanting to empower artists in the space. And it's remarkable. Like what has happened for me in the last 12 months is it's been a wild ride. And I've got a trailer for this that I put up on, it's on my pinned tweet. But I went to LA, spent some time with Rafiq in his studio. We're currently going through the processes of defining what the drop is going to be and how the editions are going to look and how we're going to put this out. And we're partnering with Known Origin actually for this drop to handle it. But I think it's going to be the first of what I hope will be many brand collaborations in the space where we work with artists. And I think this is really important. And we are, I feel, only at the very start of what we're trying to do as Creative Work Studios. We're doing a number of artist collabs. We've launched our own tokens that give people early access to the drops and collaborations that we're doing. And the response has been insane. And I really want to just throw this out there to say, if there are filmmakers in this space that are looking for a platform, like a soapbox to stand on and shout about your work, like, we are here. And as a filmmaker, like, I feel that this is the area that it's next. Like, music has its challenges. You know, we've seen the art world completely revolutionized, but film, and as a filmmaker, I would say that this is the area that everyone needs to be looking at right now. And the possibilities are literally never ending. And Jordan, I love that you do this room. I've been here as much as I can be as a father of an 8-year-old and traveling all over the place and trying to get this done in COVID. But every time I've tuned into this room, I've absolutely loved the discussion. I've loved hearing the people that have spoken. You have been absolutely incredible. And it's so amazing to see the following that has blown up around this conversation, because you're in the right place, like at exactly the right time, and we're all super early.
Thank you, Jay Harry. You know, I think it's true. I wrote, it was in my press release or pitch deck or something, but I wrote something recently because my project's coming out, and David touched on it. That film is native to this. I mean, if we think about, we're looking at screens right now. We're looking at avatars on screens, and we're taking a look at, and we're looking on OpenSea and Known Origin and Maker's Place. We're looking at our screens, and film has been screening since film came around. We've been screening on screens. We've been streaming screening on television. So we're screening, and I just think that we are so prime for this ecosystem, and we count. Jay Harry, you've done amazing work that's inspiring so many people, and so has Ian and Jason and Lauren and Kamani, and and I know that that so many people in this space are going to become like huge leaders here, this community, and I'm super grateful that we're building, and I'm super grateful to know that that I have other filmmakers who can teach us, come in and talk and be so generous. I mean, to me, that's Web3. Web3 is such a generous space, and the way we're trying to help each other navigate it and build on top of things. And I would say to anybody in here, keep showing up for yourself first, and then keep showing up for each other, because you can't really show up for each other if you don't have something from yourself to give. But I'm super psyched. I want to, Cole, I do see your hand, but give me 1 second, because I know that Ian has only a few more minutes with us, and then we've got this such a great conversation. We're going to swing right back around to it. But Ian, I just wanted to before you have to jump off, is there something you wanted to like throw in there, add, or Are you
Yeah,
still with us?
absolutely. No, just really value and love the space. Grateful for everyone here. Grateful for everyone building. If you're a filmmaker, if you have a talent, feel free to reach out to granting GW Studios underscore. It's a pinned tweet. If you want to contribute, the theater will be kind of community ran, community led, with bounties and things of that nature. And there's going to be token utility for everyone and anyone that screens. And so if you have a film or if you're releasing one or if you have an old one that you're trying to kind of get some buzz and distribution for, go ahead and DM. I'll be doing a call for films very soon, as we get ready to launch and iron out some details. So appreciate it, and look forward to building and crushing it in 2022 with everyone.
Thank you, Ian. That just reminds me, if you're a member of our Discord community, there's going to be a chat, a conversation that Crystal is arranging. It's this Saturday. Ian, do you know what time that chat is? Is it
Yeah,
12
there.
p.m. Eastern?
Yeah, she put a couple times in there for people to react to, see which one's best. She wants to discuss pretty much something I talked about earlier on how to incorporate SAG and with royalties and their paperwork and all that, but keeping stuff on chain. So having an open forum, open discussion about that in the server this Saturday. So the link is in Jordan's bio, and yeah, come chop it up with us.
Oh, that's so fabulous. The community on the Discord is really starting to pop, and it's fun. It's fun. I cannot wait to see where we go in 2022. I would be remiss, by the way, because my friend Sheila is in this room, and if I don't actually advocate for myself, that she has told me that I have to learn how to do, while she's in the room and while we're in the filmmaker room, and I'm getting really red and just I'm getting ready to tell you. So if you don't know, I'm dropping my Genesis 1 of 1 3 weeks from today, and I'm very excited. And it's going to be on Zora. It took me a long time to decide, but I really need that file size. Oh my God, I don't know if I'm laughing or crying right now doing this. But I'm not so comfortable talking about myself, but I also want to say that you're going to see me talk about myself a lot for the next 3 weeks. So I would appreciate your graciousness in that, and also your support, as I'm absolutely terrified and excited to share what I think is a very powerful piece. It's definitely a social impact piece. The actors are phenomenal, and the song is phenomenal. And I call it a motion picture because it is less a music video, less a film, and more as a call to action. So anyway, that is me advocating for myself. Sheila, I hope you give me lots of love on the timeline for that. And thank you for being such a great leader yourself. So thank you, guys. That was it. That's my PSA. And Cole, I saw your hand was up.
Thank you so much, Jordan. First of all, I just want to say, thank you so much for hosting this space. I've tuned in a couple of times. Only one other time was I able to come up and speak, but it was just ending, so I just got the last end of that space. But what you're doing is truly amazing, whether you realize it or not. The NFT space is blowing up, and I feel like every sort of artist is covered except for the filmmakers. And I think the barrier to entry is, for me at least, from my understanding and going through it and trying to figure out how to do it, is the file size sort of thing. And also the 10K collections are so popular because you're able to build a community. It's oh, what one did you get? Oh, you got this one. Oh, I got the one with the flaming hat. So it's trying to incorporate that. And then when I made my first NFT, I decided to make a digital version, trading cards for the funny commercial that I made. But that was kind of sort of a failure, or just the wrong way of going about it. So I learned from that. But I actually ended up selling one of them yesterday. I got my first sell in that collection. It was $300, Woo-hoo! And I was super stoked. So yeah, woo. But what I want to talk about more is listen to Jay Harry and him talking about uploading his films, which I checked out on Known Origin. Beautiful work, by the way, man.
Thank you.
That's very inspiring to me, because I originally thought of just doing it that way, but OpenSea was the first platform I went to, and it was unable to it just had to be so compressed, and I lost a lot of the quality in the blacks, like he was talking about, in the color space. So my workaround or kind of the idea and thesis that I'm working on right now, and I would love for you guys to chime in and give me any pointers or ideas or just insight on it. But it's a sort of like an NFT production company or a DAO. And I'm thinking about making like an access key. So I'm a visual effects artist. I'm actually a visual effects technician, so I work on the set. But at heart, I'm an independent filmmaker. So I want to, with my VFX knowledge, do like Cinema 4D, some sort of like access key kind of token that you mint maybe 1,000 or 5,000 or 10,000, I don't know. But those holders then have access to this website that you can connect your wallet, and through there, you're able to get into this community where there is voting rights. People within the community can send in maybe a screenplay, and then the community can read those and vote on which screenplay they want to get greenlit. And from all these NFT sales from these token holders, we're able to fund the film, and therefore we can support independent filmmakers like ourselves. And there's just all these different ways that I'm trying to think about doing it. But I would love if anyone had any ideas or questions about that or anything we can talk about for that, because I feel like, I don't know, I feel like that would solve some problems.
Cole, I just want to come on, I'm coming to you right next. Cole, I just want to say, if you want to DM me, the Maverick Gal is coming, and the things you spoke about are the thing created, and so DM me, because that's basically all I can say about that today.
Copy that. I'll do that. Thanks.
Come on.
Good morning, y'all. Hey, everybody. Thanks for having me in the NFT Film Squad. This has been an amazing group. You guys definitely need to always come back here. The whole year, 2021 for me has been a tough year. I won't get into that, but every time that I've needed to come back to the space, the filmmaking squad has been welcome. And basically navigating multiple deaths in the family. So, I'd have to take months off from the space at times. So anyway, I'm doing good, y'all. Thanks for having me back. And Cole, just to touch on what you just said, great ideas. There's a lot of filmmaking groups right now that are all we're all kind of circling each other and touching on these different approaches. What my suggestion is for everybody in the space is to join one that already exists. Just to become part of that community and find different opportunities cross community to grow your experience in NFT filmmaking. And then when the time comes, your approach to your platform you'll like the method I'm describing. When the time comes, you'll have so much more information. You'll feel so much more equipped when the time comes to step out into the space and start from your own platform. I don't want to talk too much, Jordan. Thank you for the space. Real quick, y'all, just to touch on what David said earlier. He brought up there's just the idea of distribution, right? And that's something I'm very passionate about, having worked in distribution in our film industry. I'm a 15-year producer myself, and I've worked in distribution for various YouTube channels, Discovery and ABC. And when you mint something when you mint your content to the blockchain, you mint your film to the blockchain, and you you make that available through blockchain, that's a form of distribution. And I just want everybody to think about, as we're moving forward, that distribution is its own revenue stream. It's actually a hugely sustainable revenue stream for our industry. And when you mint something directly to the blockchain, you're not necessarily foregoing the negotiation over the distribution rights, but it makes it so much harder to enforce. Because we were just talking yesterday, I think, about Samsung doing a new TV technology where they can essentially stream directly from the blockchain. But the issue with that is but Samsung will be running advertising off of that marketplace or off their streaming interface. And if they're streaming your content and you don't have a distribution deal in place, then they're earning revenue off of the strength of your content. And you have no say because it's public access. So just try to think as we're navigating this space, what David brought up was super important. We have to think about distribution and hold that sacred, because when you just mint something to the chain and you don't have all of those things stipulated and spelled out ahead of time, then yeah, you did just provide that you forewent, or I don't know the right word. You skipped that revenue stream for your platform. But anyway, thank you for listening. My name's Kamani, and thank you.
You guys, you got to go check out Kamani's tokenomics. And in fact, Kamani, we need to bring you in February to do a full breakdown if you're up for that. Because
absolutely.
I think that now there are more people and there's more understanding of what you have been envisioning, And you know what? I'm a person that like makes fun of everyone who calls himself the first. But in fact, I think you might be the first with that tokenomics thing. I know Jason is laughing because I do.
I
Everyone's
do
the
it too,
first.
though.
I
I do it
know.
too.
But I like somebody yesterday said that they were like they're going to be the first feature film, and I'm like, no, you're not, because you're like the fifth person said you're going to be the first. Anyway, I see is it Marcello or Marcelo? Marcello, and then Lauren. I see your hand too. I wanna make sure that everyone gets a chance to speak, and also we want to talk to Lauren about what she's up to. Marcello.
Yeah, hey, thank you for
Are you
having me. I
with
really
us?
appreciate yeah, am I speaking? Y'all hear me? Am I being heard right now? Yeah?
Yeah,
I'm
you're
I'm
good. You're
assuming
not
okay.
bugged. You're good. Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, thank you, Jordan, for hosting this space. This is the first time I'm joining the NFT Film Squad space. I always wondered if there were filmmakers in the NFT space, but like Kamani was sort of saying, if you have a good idea, chances are there's 100 other people already working on that idea. So it's really great to see that there's this space here that I've been looking for. I'm a young aspiring filmmaker. I don't necessarily have an extensive portfolio as a lot of the people on here do. So it's really inspiring to see how all of you guys are navigating this artistic space to really help me see how I'm gonna navigate this space. And really, I had a very specific question about filmmaking on the blockchain. For those who make one of one pieces, a question that I always thought about was sort of that trade-off, because as filmmakers, I know we want going to Kimani's idea of distribution, we sort of want as many eyes as possible on our piece, right? We want to expose a lot of people to the piece. So I'm wondering, like, the trade-off of the one of one on the NFT space, like, is it well, I guess I'm just trying to figure out, like, let's say you sell your piece or you sell my film for like 3 ETH to one collector. How is that, I guess, the dynamic between selling it to one collector versus getting as many eyes as possible on it? And I'm wondering, since the space is so new, is there anything possible to like hold a film festival on the blockchain, or have like
Yes.
a movie theater on the
Ooh.
blockchain,
Yo,
something?
Marcelo,
I
straight up,
hold
thank
on,
you so
hold
much
on,
for
hold
asking
on,
that question.
hold on, Cole. Just 1 second. You're gonna go next. I just want to say that I'm gonna give a very universal answer to this, and then let Cole go. Um, and also, I need to tell you guys that there are a bunch of requests to come up on stage. I see you, and I'll get to you. We're only allowed to have so many people up here. Marcelo, that you have to think that, and believe me, it's a struggle because we're so new. You have to sort of decide, do I want to give this to a one of one, or do I want to make this addition? It's going to be personal. So that's really all I want to say about that, because we've spotlighted so many filmmakers this year, and everyone really has a unique and personal view on how they want to do it. So I encourage you to think about it, because even for me, I decided to go with the one of one, and I know that it's going to be expensive for some people. And then I decided to create what's called the fragment collection around it, so that would be at a lower price point, so that people that might want to support me or have a piece of my work, they can have that. So it's very unique to everyone. And Cole, I know you had some things you wanted to say about that. And then Lauren, I definitely, by the way, guys, we're going to come back around and talk to Lauren, because she's one of the people we spotlighted. I want to see what she's up to.
Hey, real quick before Cole jumps in, so Cello, you talked about the distribution of the metaverse. Ian was on stage earlier. He's not in the room now, but he was on the stage. He has a great model for Granting Wishes Studios, or Granting Wishes Cinemas. I need to get that name right. But he's at the forefront of distribution in the metaverse, and I think that he's thinking about it layers ahead, 10 years ahead of everybody. So so tap in with the decentralized producer.eth. That's his name. His name's Ian. And yeah, anyway, thanks for listening, Neil.
Cole.
Yeah, no, Marcelo, man, like, I had the exact same question. Like, I'm working on a short film right now, and I was thinking about, like, maybe like just straight up putting it on the blockchain, but it's the exact same question of like the one of one trade-off. Yeah, you can get like a little bit of money from it and a collector, and that's like a really cool feeling. But like the whole film festival thing, then you're ineligible for film festivals. And I guess I would just say thank you.
No, you're not.
You're not? Because it's
No.
online though.
It's exclusive. It depends on the film festival. I mean,
yeah.
If they're expecting a premiere, sure, but you're not. Believe me, I'm doing it.
Okay. I mean, I guess it depends on the film festival. But yeah, no, I just wanted to hear what Kamani said, like regarding that, just because the distribution part of it, it's just like you want as many people to see it, because ultimately the reason why we make films is to raise a message and we want people to see it, right? But of course the money is, we need to be paid, because, you know, we can be starving out artists at times. Like I work on bigger shows and the contract's like 5-6 months out of the year, and then I'm off for a bit, and then that's the time where I need to be really frugal and, you know, try to have an income and make my own stuff. But I just
would
want
you
to
tap
hear
in
what
with me
Kamani
after
said.
the call? Would you
What's up?
mind tapping in with me after this call? Because I know we have to, we want to celebrate Lauren's work too. So tap in with me after the call, and then just real quick, y'all, because I don't want to confuse people. Let me see if I can get this done in 10 seconds. Okay, so you create a film, you create two assets. You created the film or TV show that you're distributing, the thing that's the content that has a relationship with the audience, and you've created the wider intellectual property franchise in which that film or television show takes place. You've created, every time you create anything, you create two assets that you bring to the market. Distributors know this. They know this. So when we are negotiating our revenue streams, and distribution is the major one, I'm telling y'all, it's the number 2 export in the country. So when you mint directly to the blockchain, you are skipping your access to our number 2 export in the country. It's very important to maintain the integrity of distribution and our distribution infrastructure. So I don't want to take, because this can get long. Again, I want really quick. You can mint your distribution rights. You can mint a distribution agreement to the blockchain. You can mint as many as you want, and you could spell out your distribution rights to as many distributors as you want. That's up to you. So anyway, we can all talk about that later. I want to transition over to Lauren. She's a wonderful filmmaker in our space. And Lauren, take this away from me.
Yeah,
I'm
Lauren, no, I
gonna
want to
go
know
ahead
what
and
Lauren's doing.
step down. Oh, sorry. I'm gonna just go ahead and step down to allow other people to speak. Thank you for having me again, and I look forward to the next Wednesday. Thank you so much.
Sweet. Thank
I'm
you,
right
fella.
behind Marcelo. I'm gonna drop down too. And Kamani, I definitely want to chat with you later, bro. Thank you guys.
Great, guys. So Lauren, when you brought restoration to us back forever ago in NFT time, you know, you had created these assets for it, and I think you were in post-production. I think the first thing I want to know is where are you with the film, and where do you see yourself as a creator, as an artist, as a filmmaker, in this space going this year?
Yeah. First off, thanks, Kimani. Everyone should follow Kimani. He has the best, the best blueprint for all of this redistribution, everything. So any chance I can get to uplift Kimani, I will. And yeah, we are still in post-production. I just finished up my last quarter of college, so I've just been finishing up that aspect, and I'm finally free, have time to do everything that I want to do. So we wrapped our main general edit, and so now I'm just working with getting the audio tweaked and coloring and those last bits of things. And definitely this year I'm aiming for it to be done, and just kind of thinking about how I want to go about the viewing aspect of this. Of course I was just thinking about film festival routes, but film is really personal to me and helped with my own healing. So I think it could be really cool to explore a virtual viewing, maybe tap in with Ian or do some really cool way to have an intimate showing for people who can relate to it, so we can have talks about it, discussions, etc. And yeah, I've just been kind of also watching the music space too, because I think it's very interconnected, and listening to how Latasha has been talking about if you're with a label and how can I mint my music and all of that. So I've just been studying that, and also focusing on the DAO aspect. Been working with Kimani and others and trying to build out something for film. But I'm really excited. Just really been taking my time to kind of just process and figure out the way I want to move in this space, and kind of take away from my Web2 thinking about, just trying to get my way into the industry. So bringing that to Web3, why can't I, make a TV series in this space? So yeah, this is where everything kind of kicks into gear this year. I'm really, really excited.
I'm psyched to see what you're doing, because I felt like that, well, because you're so active, because you have a great vision. And yes, I agree with you. What's going on with Latasha and is super, super inspiring, right? The way she approaches things, and then the breakdown of how much money you might make if you had streamed a song on Spotify compared to what Domino did. I think Domino made $180,000 on his album Drop, which was also phenomenal. And then because there wasn't a great way to distribute that money to his team. He ended up converting it to fiat and paying everybody, out of that. He also has an incredible model for music, and I learned a lot from them about how we as filmmakers can move forward. I think you're also a member of Her Story DAO, right?
Yes, I am. At
Okay,
this point,
great.
I'm in too many DAOs to to remember. But I really, really, really love the DAO space, and I think that's been helping me kind of rethink NFTs too. And I've been thinking more of them as passes, and thinking of one of ones differently, and then collections differently. So yeah, DAOs is definitely the year of DAOs for me. But yeah, I encourage everyone to just explore DAOs a little bit if you have a chance.
We've been doing that. I mention it very quietly because it's not ready to launch, but we've been working since June on creating a DAO, a film DAO, and super excited to see that eventually pass, because I do think that creating these things with community. I mean, again, I'm going to go back and say that if you're not a part of our Discord, go to my link tree if you want to find community there, because literally, Crystal and I think forgotten France. I think they just decided to start a community project, and it's literally getting on its feet now, and it's really fun for me to sit back and watch other filmmakers pushing things forward, and making things happen. I get an amazing amount of joy out of that, and seeing what you guys do on the timeline, and finding ways to support you. If you're new to this space, I'm just going to take a second and sort of set the space again. Take a look at all the pinned tweets. There's 10 tweets up there. Today, the Film Squad put the spotlight on a few of our class of 2021. David Bianchi, Harry Edminston, Lauren Washington, Jason Charnick, who we're going to get to in a few minutes because we haven't been able to talk to him about what he's got coming up, as well as Ian Grant. And you can see that everyone's doing some extremely exciting things and very unique things. So I'm super happy to be here, and be a part of your community. And I'm also super grateful, to know that that we're going to be making huge changes together, for other filmmakers, and showing people what can happen, whether they are a film like mine and like David's, and Lauren, what you just said, sort of the real personal nature of socially conscious, social impact films, things that conversations that need to be had, and need to find a way to create these meaningful things and meaningful conversations. So I'm psyched. So if you're new and you want to join our Discord, please do join our community. Take a look around you. Find ways to micro support each other. Retweets are great. Quote tweets are great. Buying each other's work is great. Macro actions, whatever you can do to help move this space forward. We're excited to be here with you. I see H and Neo. I'm not sure who had their hand up first, so I'm just going to go with Neo, and then we're going to come around and talk to Jason. So Neo, how you doing? Welcome.
Hello, family.
Hello, everybody. It's two people over here. We're so fortunate.
Wait. Hold on. Wait. Is that two people? Did you just say two people?
Yes, it is.
Yes, we're a couple.
Me?
we are.
I'm like, who do I have to remove from the stage?
No, it's us both. We're both Neo Sutras.
Yes, as you see, it's a beautiful fusion of milk and chocolate on the photograph. And it's two artists, Siberian artists, which is me. My name is Paula, and my beautiful fiance, Lamont, which is also a legendary figure in film and TV industry, legendary dancer, performer. And we're so happy we found you guys because in a space we've been, since we came here, we've been pioneering dance on wellness NFTs. And basically what we do, we create in shorts, and we've been doing it for already like a few years. We create in dancing shorts. So our niche is we basically have a nonverbal communication in our short films, and we're speaking with our bodies, and all the characters we create in an environment and everything we can bring into this nonverbal communication. And we way thinking how to move this into the space, how to actually introduce this genre, which is not that popular yet. into the NFTs, and also make collectors and artists to feel and to understand it more. And we're really happy that we found you all. We would love to meet more creators and in music industry and TV and film industry who have another ideas, and we can have a collaborations and collective brainstorms. Like we have a beautiful roadmap of plans for 2022, and people who have spoken word abilities like other talents, we are really would love to fuse our talents together and collaborate and to make this industry shine in NFT. And we're basically here just to say, hey, we're here, we're existing, and that's what we're doing. And please, our DMs are open. We really would love brainstorm suggestions, collaborations, exchange of experiences and knowledge. So that's basically it.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Paula
I just
said
want to.
I'm sorry.
No. So sorry. I just wanted to say before I forget. On Twitter, there's a dancer. Her name's Crux, Crux, and I think you would get inspired by some of the work she's doing. It sounds very similar to what you're doing. And also, I just want to say, if you want to jump into the Discord, because it sounds like the brainstorming and things like that, you might find some easy access to community there. But anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
Jordan, we have the whole community of dancers. It's not a lot of people. It's like about 25 folks. And she's one of them. And we're all connected. We're all chatting every single day. So we know everything about each other mostly. But the guys who are the artists who are here, we understand it is more related to TV and film, and we also was a part of festival. This beautiful artist Olivia in a room right now. She's also pioneering in NFC and bringing her dancing and filmmaking talents. So, but we're basically to connect with the people who we don't know, and we was admiring many of you in a room just by watching your create and etc. And if you don't mind, we can pin tweet one of our very abstract pieces that we launched, so the creators can also kind of like get more familiar with what we do, because our main message is to spread a love, connection, and also knowledge of new sutras, which is fusion of yoga, dance, acrobatics, and meditation into the NFT community.
Yeah. So this piece is very special because it's our engagement piece. So it's really, really special for 2022. And the post, this post basically just represents that we taken our partnership to the next level because I proposed to Beyonce. So thank you all for support, and thank you for the amazing room.
That's so sweet. I love it. Yes, please pin it. Pin it up there.
I just did. So this piece is basically symbolizing being intertwined for two souls being intertwined, and every movement and every threading, it speaks for this connection and this complete understanding, this complete fulfillment of one another as two human beings or two souls.
Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you so much for coming up and letting us get to know you and see your work. I want to just, Jason, I know that you're actually maybe supposed to meet with me after this. We're going to keep the room open for a while so we can also talk to Jason. And I want to go to H first, and then we'll go to Christina. So, Jason, we're coming to you. H, welcome.
Thank you very much, guys. Sorry, I'm coming over COVID. I apologize.
Oh my God, the plague has everyone today.
Everybody from the holidays, huh? First, I want to say congratulations, Neo. Congratulations on your guys' engagement. That's amazing. And I want to say I admire everyone in this space right now. All your guys' work and everything I see. I've been scouring everybody's pages a little bit, so I really admire all the things that everyone's doing. I wanted to, the reason I got real excited and I wanted to jump into space as well is I've been in love with film my entire life. I'm a film major in junior college, and one thing I've been trying to think about and wanted to do for the past few months is exactly what Cole was saying, and trying to bring a production company or something that gives opportunity to everybody who loves film and would love to work in film to the blockchain. And I've just never really known where to start, and I've just been so happy just listening to the space today, and just to know that there's so many like-minded people in here and out there in the world, you know what I mean, and just to be able to be a part of this space now, and to know that I'm not alone in this thing that I thought I was alone trying to do, and now knowing that I would just love to be a part of everything that everyone's doing, to be honest with you. You know how it is. And just to learn from all you guys, and I'm just happy to be here. And Cole, whatever work you do, or Jordan, anything you guys are doing, that is bringing more and more film or productions to and opportunities to everybody in the blockchain space and in the world, I'd love to be a part of. And I just I'm just appreciative to even speak. This is my first Twitter space. I don't know if I'm a little nervous. I do appreciate it, you guys, and that's pretty much all I had to say. And I would love to, like I said, just be a part of whatever is coming with you guys, and to learn from all of you guys, and you know what I mean, just be everything. So I appreciate it.
Oh man, I love getting guys like you, folk like you up here, because that's what we've been doing for 11 months, trying to create a space for all of us. And that's why, like, look, my first advice to anyone in this room is to follow the people here, especially the people that we spotlighted today, David and Jay Harry and Jason and Ian and Lauren, because and Kamani, and like there are so many people that have been trailblazing, that have been like creating pathways and doing it all very uniquely. So there's so many options, there's so many ways. It's very personal, the way that many of us are moving, but also we're doing it together. Creating community. You heard, that Kamani and Lauren are chatting a lot, and you hear what David is doing, and what Jay Harry are doing with people outside of this community and bringing them in. So we're just at such the beginning, and we have the opportunity to get the space the way we want. And so I'd say just keep showing up. Keep following people and letting people know that you're here. And I just want to before it hits 3:00, I know a lot of people can't stay beyond the 2-hour mark, so I just want to say I'm going to keep the room open because this is just too much fun, and this conversation is fantastic. But I also just wanted to say how grateful that I personally am, first of all, to the women that the OGs that created the NFT Film Squad with me, who said yes to being a part of this, to showing up every week. Sophie and Corinne and Elle and Landy, especially, because they have shown up, and Sophie takes copious notes for us, which have been super helpful, because there's so much to learn and absorb. And just to David and Jay Harry, specifically, for really putting the work out there and testing and creating things, creating new pathways. It's been super inspiring. And I know Lauren and Ian are gone, but to Jason and Lauren and Ian for creating ideas and like really community specific ideas, like how we can build this together, and showing up also every week for one another, not just here in the Film Squad, but in the Discords and in yours and the retweets. The community's here, and I'm super grateful for you guys. Before, if any of you guys have to jump, and you want to say something, and then I do see you, Christina. But yeah, Soph?
Yeah, I just wanted to say a very quick thank you, really. Nothing particularly dramatic, but just this is such an amazing way to kick off 2022, to have like all the people coming back from 2021, and also so many new ideas coming in. It feels like the perfect kind of intersection of like where we're at now, that there is a bank of knowledge that we are building on together as a community, but that there is a kind of excitement and energy that is pushing us into 2022. So it just feels like an amazing space to be, as does the Discord. So this energy kind of can continue, and I can't wait to get into it next week, basically. And I'm very sad that I have to go, but as is the way when we're on London time here in the evening. But yeah, so thank you all so much for the space and for coming through.
Thank you, Soph. Soph is amazing, and if you don't follow her, do. And she does a lot of theater, and I'm still trying to figure out how to like get her on the blockchain with her films. And it's coming, Sophie. I'm gonna make you do it.
It's coming. It's coming. I have the same feeling that you do. So everything you were saying earlier about your project resonated massively. So we'll get there. It just wing into it, and then
Yeah.
when it happens, we'll go all out.
Yeah. All right. All right.
Bye.
So see ya. Christina, give me a second. And Naz, I see you. I do want to say hi to Jason. He's one of the people that we were spotlighting, and he's got some amazing things that he's doing this year. And Jason, I would love for you to tell people what's happening.
Sure. I don't. I'm a very verbose person, so if I start going too long and like there are people with their hands up, Jordan, please interrupt me and take some questions. And I'm happy to answer any questions that might come up while I'm talking. First of all, it's great to again see all these new faces, the old faces. It's a great time, great to see you again. Happy New Year to everybody. To those who are also in the COVID boat, I hope you guys get well soon. I'm getting better myself, so I feel you and I'm with you. I've been in the space since March. Like I said earlier, I was one of my first introductions was to NFT film was Jordan's show here. The space is on when it was originally on Clubhouse. And when I first got into NFTs, I'll tell you guys straight away, like I'm a skeptic. I am one of those, anti-scam, skeptical, like what's going on here type of people. And I wasn't into crypto. I wasn't into any of this stuff, beforehand. And when I started diving in and coming into this, into this room and meeting other filmmakers and meeting wonderful people like Jordan and Sophie and Corinne and Landy and Elle and Lauren and Ian and everybody that we've heard from today and more, I started seeing the community aspect of it. I come from the independent film space, from feature documentary and feature narrative, and it's a tight-knit community there too. And I've made some wonderful friends in that space, but it's still very competitive. Everyone's trying to make their films and get them into festivals and get distribution, and there are limited slots for that in the world for feature filmmakers. So even though, we all help each other and lift each other up, it's still kind of competitive. And one of the first things that jumped out to me, especially in this kind of room, is just how everyone is really willing to help out. And that's always been my mantra. I'm always here for anyone to help out. A lot of everybody's been talking today about file sizes. I am an editor, post supervisor, compressionist by trade, always have been for like the last 25 years. So making file sizes, making things fit for certain deliverables has been my bag professionally for almost 25 years. So if anybody, I actually had a thought as everyone was talking. I think I'm going to start putting together some presets for you guys, and we'll put them up on WeTransfer, or I'll put them up on my website on niftyfilm.io as a resource for you guys to grab, presets for Premiere Pro. If anyone wants any Final Cut 7 presets, I could probably do something for Compressor 2 for Final Cut 10. Just a thought that hit me as everyone was talking about it, because it seems to be a problem everyone's dealing with, and that's what I'm really good at. So I'd love to help out. If anyone has a finished piece, whether you're going to mint it or not, and you just need to compress it for a certain file size, I'm here to help you guys out with that. So feel free to drop me a line for that. To talk about my projects really briefly, like I said, as a skeptic coming into this space, I immediately, and that's one of the things, Gary Vee actually saw me on Twitter talking about some of the challenges and limitations of NFT back in March and reached out to me, and we had a wonderful conversation about it. I see a lot of the challenges and a lot of the criticisms that come from the legacy world, and I always thought some of them are valid and some of them aren't, but I wanted to create my projects to specifically handle a lot of those challenges. So I have 2 projects out right now. Well, one is out as it's like launched, and that's my feature film called The Absence is Always Present. It is intended to be a short film and then eventually a feature film that I am writing right now. But instead of depending on Kickstarter and trying to, finishing the script in however long it's going to take me, and then trying to jam in raising funds in like a 1-month period of time, I am considering this like a huge, like 2 to 3 year project, trying to raise funds where I will have short video clips, photography. I have one of one movies on Foundation. Right now there's only one, but I'm starting to work on my second one. I got a little paused by, this stupid little pig that's going around. But I'm starting up on my second one of one that'll hopefully go up there sometime in February or March. I really wanted to make my projects accessible to everyone in the NFT space. Because here's the thing about film that I think, the new people that are coming into the space should think about is film as an art is consumed differently around the world, especially in America, but around the world certainly, film is consumed differently than any other artistic medium. You know, you go to a museum, you look at a photo, you look at a painting or something, you see it, you move on with your life. But with movies, it's a different thing. It's just a different thing. It always has been. So that's one of the challenges is we want to have as many eyeballs to see something as possible, but we also want to create in the NFT world, rarity is something that we all really care about. Those two things in the film world are kind of antithetical a little bit. So it's a challenge. So with my Absence is Always Present project, I have a very long timeline on it because it takes a long time to make a movie, and I'm not trying to rush through anything, not trying to be the first to do anything. I just want to do this project as best as I possibly can. It's a feature film about stillbirth and child loss. I lost my daughter in 2017 to stillbirth. So it's a really important topic to me. I've created a full roadmap. You guys can check it out at absence.movie. That forwards to my Nifty Film website. I have different levels of pricing, so anybody can get involved, whether it be like a one Tez photo on Tezos, on Hicketnunk or Object.com, or if you want to, place a bid on my one of one on Foundation. All the art that's, photos and stuff that surrounds that feature film itself, they're all about the subject of loss and grief. So I'm trying to, keep it as a tied, a tight concept. But it's going to take a long time, and I don't want to depend on Kickstarter to try to raise money. So this is a long-term thing. More specifically, what I have coming out next month is a web series called Late Night Dreads, and you guys can check out the roadmap for that at latenightdreads.show. And that's the one where I was trying to think of ways, like I said earlier, I collect baseball cards. I'm a collector at heart, and I really want to kind of steer into both the file size limitations as well as the rarity aspects that blockchain and NFTs can provide, for filmed entertainment that have never happened before. So me and my partner, whose name is Christopher Jones, he's an actor out here in LA, and a writer and a producer. We are adapting some of the well-known two-sentence horror stories. There's a subreddit on Reddit about it. It's it was big a couple of years ago, and there's just a whole lot of just public domain stories and stuff out there. So we're looking to make little 10 to 20 second stories that will be available in like a base edition. So there'll be 8 episodes in the first drop, and each of the 8 episodes will have 8 editions that are available on Polygon, so gas-free, because that's also really important to me. I don't want anyone to have to pay hundreds of dollars in gas just to buy a $100 piece, a $100 episode or whatever. So it's all going to be on Polygon for no gas. And there'll be these base episodes that are just the stories, but then we have parallels that will be stylized. So like the regular episodes will just be a little episode, and then we'll have limited editions that are stylized, that have extended editions. So like if we shoot a story, like if you have one of the more expensive parallel versions, you'll get an extra NFT that has like a little extra tag on the end. So you can see a little bit more of the story that you wouldn't if you had the base edition. And then it goes all the way up until one of ones. And we're in talks right now with a couple of well-known actors, celebrities who you guys have heard of that are interested in participating with us. And the goal will eventually be that the one of one will be the same exact story as the base version, but it will star someone that you know and love from film and television that the base version isn't. So I think that would create a lot of rarity. Somebody would want a piece of that, because that's one of the challenges with film stuff is, as we were talking about putting things directly on the blockchain, and Kamani was talking about distribution rights and stuff, it's really difficult in film to get somebody, like if somebody wants to see something, they'll see something. And I think the right-click save crowd in NFT land, I think we're kind of letting the pirates decide what's important and what's meaningful and what has value. And I think we kind of have to take that back a little bit. So that's one of the intents of my project with that. We are in production now. Again, it got paused a little bit because I also got into a car accident early in December, and then I got sick. So it's got pushed back a little bit. But we've been slowly pushing forward with everything. We're in production now. And hopefully that first drop of 8 episodes and then the parallel versions that come from that will be available sometime in late February, hopefully sooner. We'll see how it goes. And then in just Nifty Film, that's my over-encompassing umbrella for all of this NFT work. We're starting to talk to, we have a lot of friends that work in the business and are interested in getting in, but they don't want to do it themselves. They're not technical people. So we're going to start releasing more stuff from the other artists and photographers that we work with. And just really excited about this new year because I think this is the year that it's off. And, again, being in rooms like this with you guys and talking about those challenges and talking about, it's a choose your own adventure. Everyone can plan their own project that works best for them. And I think, David also said earlier when he was talking, case studies. We should all kind of keep in the back of our minds as we decide what we're going to do, to kind of do like a case study as it goes on. I think it would have been Cole earlier who said like he released a little something and it was a failure. Not a failure, dude. Nothing's a failure right now. We're experimenting. We are changing the way filmed entertainment is consumed in the world. And that's something that's been the same way that it's been in, especially in America since, Goldwyn met Mayer, since the Warner Brothers decided to get into this business. And we're changing the game and doing something totally different. So there are challenges to that. So never think anything's a failure right now. It's all experimentation. I put up a bunch of stuff for my feature film. When I first got in and was just going on OpenSea, like I was just minting whatever I could just to get the vibe of the minting. And when the sales come, it's great. It feels great. But don't let that get you down because you got to find your way. So that's a little bit about my projects. I also, like Jordan, don't really like to talk about myself so much. I'm going to have to get in the mood to just pimp out my stuff to you guys nonstop. So get ready for me to not shut up either. And I'm going to figure out how best to do that without like annoying everybody. But yeah, it's a pleasure to meet all the new people, see all the old people back. Happy New Year. If anyone has any questions, if anyone needs any help, I really mean it. Like the different, like I was saying about film festivals and we're competing for all those spots. There's room here for everyone. There's room for everyone. So if there's anything I can ever do to help anyone out, just even, like I said, if you need any technical stuff, drop me a line. If you have any questions about how all this shit works, I've been kind of teaching myself all this stuff later on this afternoon after I talk to Jordan about her thing. I'm going to start learning some manifold.xyz and learning how to make my own smart contract. Although I want to do my stuff on Polygon, so that's going to be tough because manifold's only ETH right now. But we'll figure it all out. I just want to learn how to do it and start doing all this stuff. So it's a pleasure meeting all you guys. Thank you for the time, Jordan. I'm just really excited about this year. So as I was saying before, just let's fucking go.
So you always make me laugh, man. You always make me laugh. Like I know you're like lying in bed, COVID right now.
I'm sitting in front of my computer, coffee in hand, like I normally am. So I think I'm getting better as we talk. You guys are giving me the energy to get better.
Oh my God. So I just want to point out to all you newbies that Jason just showed you like how he's uniquely approaching this space, right? So there are many ways and you try to figure out which one works for you. And it takes a while. I didn't know what my voice, I mean, I know my voice, but I didn't know what piece was going to fit when I was going to drop until it happened. And then I shared the strategy of how I was going to drop, and I'm still trying to figure, I figured it out, but it took me months. This is my point. And I've been running this space since March. So, and listening to what everyone's doing because unique thing is personal, is how, it's how you want to do it. And there's so many great ideas. I want to just say I'm so psyched that people are sticking around, and I'm happy to see Simon here. But Christina has been so patient, and Jason, thank you for all your offerings there. I have to say that Jason has been an awesome post-production supervisor on my film, on my motion picture, and yeah, get in touch with him if you need anything. Thank you for those presets. That's going to be fucking awesome. We're going to build them off my film, I think.
Oh yes.
Yes. And anyway, Christina, I see you've been so patient. It's so great to see you here. And Simon, I'm going to come around to you, so don't go anywhere yet.
Yeah, thank you very much. Can you hear me, guys? Can you hear me good?
Yep.
Yes, so thank you very much. I love your rooms, even though I'm not every time, but it's amazing what you're doing. And I would like to share what I'm doing, and then also invite you for a glass of voxel wine as a thanks for what you're doing for filmmakers in NFT. So please write me if you prefer white wine, red wine, Cabernet, or Pinot Noir. So if you would write me a message. And what I'm doing. So I have now ability, thanks to Rare Pizzas NFT, rarepizzas.com, to be using a parcel in CryptoVoxel. So I have built there cinema, let's say a small cinema where I have been doing screenings in December, but well, it's ongoing. It's all the time there, and I just want to share with everyone that I think this is also what we can do as filmmakers. Um, there is what is beautiful that sometimes someone come there and is surprised that there is a cinema also, because usually everybody in the metaverse, either Decentraland or CryptoVoxels, everybody has galleries. Yeah, so now cinema, and watching the movie, talking with me as the author. And also for me, the experience is, even though there wasn't like tons of people yet, yeah, but a couple of people went there and actually really watched the whole movie. I have the 30 minutes movie. So the experience is almost like a normal screening, yeah, where people have questions and everything. So that also can be a way what to do or what. And maybe if I can pin a link for the cinema so people can jump there.
Yeah, go ahead. That's fabulous.
Yes, and also what I wanted to say for the metaverse house, let's say, we have created not only the wine, but I also have a film clapper, which I will also will send you. I've also sent one to Kimani already, and so also as like for us filmmakers, a little 3D film clapper, and we were also selling Christmas tree in December, basically, that was created by artists from India, and we have sold couple trees. So this whole house in metaverse has a different program, and there are people from India with me, which I'm in Europe, working together. So we have there also these glasses of wine that I will send you one, Jordan, as thank you for you holding the space. Yes, so and now I can speak and pin the tweet. So I'm gonna pin in a minute. And thank you for time and that you were listening to me, guys.
Thank you. Oh man, it's so great to hear what you're up to and what you're doing. And listen, I don't know if you've ever seen my website, but my middle name is Red Wine, so it doesn't matter. It could be a Bordeaux, a Barolo, a Pinot Noir, Burgundy. Rioja might be my favorite. I think that they're pretty much king wine. So yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
you have jordanbayne.eth or like this something
No,
address.
I'll drop it to you. I didn't
Yes.
remember my DNS yet. So yeah, thank you. Fabulous. Because I want to get to NASA and then Simon. I'm gonna jump to NASA really quickly now, and then just let you guys know that we'll probably close the room up a little bit after 3:30 Eastern. So grateful for you guys. If you just jumped in, we do have a Discord that you can come through. It's in my link tree, and also we're here every Wednesday. This is our standing meetup time, and we're going to be doing pop-ups coming in 2022. So NASA, you with us?
Yes, ma'am. How's it going, guys?
We're great. Welcome.
I appreciate it. First off, I just want to say I appreciate you for opening space, because I thought this was perfect, and it's just amazing to be around all you guys and just be able to be in such a close space, tight knit. I'm an artist myself, so it's definitely interesting for me to know the people who are in film and where I can go in the direction of people who actually know what they're doing, because I've definitely been. I'm sorry, 1 second.
I think you got a knock on the door. All right, Nasa, I'm gonna. Are you with us?
Back.
You back? All right.
Yeah, sorry about that. But I'm an artist myself. I go by the name of Zodiac World, and I have an album coming up. This is the page that I have creating for it, and I'm trying to drop one song at a time. Take my time on it. I've had songs that I've had made for the past few years now, and I want to take my time with it. But I'm also, a little new to the NFT space as well. So just trying to learn the best routes to go and people that I can connect with to make this the best possible experience, because I've been making music for about 10 years and it's about time that I did everything the right way. I can't keep, just putting my music and work out there and not really caring about it. I'm too old to be doing that. I'm 28 years old. So it's about time that I, fixed everything and did everything a little bit more professional so I can actually keep the benefits from it and not just make this a hobby anymore.
I don't know if you know Latasha, but you should. And I don't know if you know Domino, but you should, because they are really groundbreaking in the music stuff. And Black Dave. Do you know any of these guys?
I don't think so. Are they in the chat here?
No, they're not, because they are out making shit happen like big time. So Domino dropped his album we spotlighted him. I can't remember. I think it must have been November. And he dropped his album. He had a really interesting strategy for his drop. 4 weeks. He did 3 weeks of like things that he dropped up to the album drop. And he minted his album off of his website on his own smart contract. He ended up making $180,000 on that drop. Which is just incredible, right? So I think he put a tweet, and it's Domino's Music on Twitter, and I really stand him. I think he's a great guy, and he mentioned how many millions of views it would have to, or streams it would have had to have been for him to make that amount of money. It was insane. It was impossible. So you've got him. You've got Black Dave, who's just a wealth of knowledge and a musician. He's really leading the way in hip hop specifically. And then you have Latasha, who is a force of nature herself. She's hip hop musician, as well as she and her partner drop music videos. I think she now has the record for 13.3 ETH on a music video that she dropped about a month ago. So I would encourage you. I do a lot of studying of people on this space, the ones I really admire and see moving through in a positive and generous and incredible way. This is why I'm going to make sure you guys stay for Simon to speak, because to me, he's one of those guys. So Nas, yeah, I just want to encourage you, if you don't know who they are, Latash, Black Dave, and Dom Music.
Hold on, let me write that down. Wait 1 second.
All right, while you're writing that down, I'm also want to say that you can always come back through here, right? Because as I think the film and music are super intertwined right now, in the way that they are rolling things out in the music. I think they're a little bit ahead of us, just like one-on-one photography is ahead, and then of course generative projects really broke everything open. But take a look. It's important to have community in this space.
Absolutely. And I think another thing that I like is I actually really, really, really am into film myself. I really like, acting in movies and stuff as well. I would love to send some of you guys some clips or some footage that I've put together. They're just kind of all sporadic. None of them are actually in video form yet, but I have, B-roll footage and all that stuff that I have.
I would encourage you to come into our Discord. There's the Alpha channel, the Alpha Lounge, and, get in a conversation. There's a shill channel. It's licensed to shill, and come in and drop some of your stuff so that you can get people in the community, engaged. Yeah, you'll find our Discord in my link tree. I don't know why you're laughing. Are you with us? Did I lose you?
I'm joining it now.
All right, Nas. Listen, Nasa. I'm gonna because we're just into time. I'm gonna jump over to Simon.
Yeah, of course, sorry.
Yeah, no, you're all good. I'm glad you're here. I'm super psyched that all the different people that showed up. Before I get to Simon, I just want to say that the NFT Filmmaker Squad has been trailblazing here on Wednesdays from 1 to 3 every Wednesday. We've been doing this for 11 months. And Simon is one of the original guys, along with Jason and Ian and Jay Harry, that just really created the community here. And for me personally, watching Simon move through the space and doing what he just did was to drop this incredible project that I'm excited for him to tell you guys about, because it's film, it's storytelling, it's bigger than film, it's but it's storytelling, and I love the concept, and I FOMO'd so hard, and I finally was able to get in, and I'm so psyched to be part of the nuclear nerd community. Simon, so great to have you here. Are you actually here? Are you
Yeah,
out
I
wait?
didn't actually even realize I was up on stage, cranking through. It never ends. I will say the easiest part about launching a project is launching the project, and then that's when the real work really begins, which everyone should know about if they have any inclination to get into this world. It's not easier. It's only harder, which I knew ahead of time, luckily. But yeah, we launched the Nerd Project about a month or so ago, almost now, last year. Kind of like what you mentioned, I didn't really hear kind of the space. I'm not sure what the topics have been, but coming from a film and television background and working in VR the last couple of years prior, I saw a drastic shift in how films are not just made, packaged, financed, but also distributed, and also got sick and tired of most of the Hollywood BS that I was dealing with for a long time, and just see a massive paradigm shift of how content will now be consumed and developed moving forward. And I really do believe that Web3 storytelling entertainment experiences are the future, and film, television are more of a background potential marketing aspect of said projects. And it sucks. I mean, at the end of the day, like, I love film, and like I would love to go out there and be making indies and having a good time. But as you guys know, it's a long, grueling process. Even if you have the money in place, even if you have actors, like, good case scenario, you're looking at 2 years to probably get a project out there for the audience to eventually see. And kind of going this route, you're able to not really have to go the normal path. You're able to tell a story in a new medium, finding who your audience will be down the line. And it's really changing the development process and making it more of a, kind of using a software term, agile development, where it's not just a couple creatives sitting in a room and thinking what the audience might want, but giving them prompts, giving them storylines, and building it out slowly. Ideally, maybe down the line, we'll turn this into a movie or a show. But like I said, I don't know what that even looks like. In my opinion, I think we're going to see new platforms popping up in the next 6 months to 18 months that are going to be competitors to Netflix, are going to be competitors to iTunes and Apple and all other current models. And I'm always thinking, what does a future interactive type Netflix really look like, and how does this all IP intertwine together? So yeah, that's what I've really been focusing on. I kind of took a back step away from all the scripts I was being sent and was like, all right, let's just develop IP here instead. But yeah, it looks like film market is kind of heating back up slightly from what I've been hearing from a lot of my friends in the industry. And I know we're going to be seeing over the course of this year as well, a lot of more formations and a lot of funding coming in to help put these projects out. But it still comes back to just, there's no difference. If you're trying to raise capital for a movie outside of crypto or in, if you don't make your investors back their money, they're probably not going to invest in your next film. So yes, there might be more access to that capital, but it doesn't change what you need to do long term. And yeah, there's going to be some exciting things I hope I can probably announce on the film DAO and financing side within the next year. Hopefully not too long. But yeah, what's been going on with you guys? Anything exciting?
Oh, dude, you missed the whole room has been exciting. I'm so glad you came in though, because we were, it was really a spotlight on class of 2021, which you are a part of, and I'm happy, because I really agree with you that, that it's an entertainment experience, and we talked about that. I think we talked about everything possible today. Like we really chopped it up from what Jason's doing to what David Bianchi's doing and who he's talking to. Jay Airy was here and talking to us about brands and bringing in brands. And, Ian was talking about his decentralization platform and his cinema that he's opening up in the metaverse. So, and we've been talking about the smaller things as well. So, as far as like file sizes and which platforms and who. So in a lot of ways, it's the same conversation that you've heard over for the last 10 months, but advanced, and it's fun. I'm really psyched about your nuclear nerds. I really love the artwork and I like the communities you're building. I like the idea of entertainment experience, and so I'm very happy to see your success in that, and I can't wait to see what happens. I've got a few people in it, and they were so funny. They're like, "Oh my God, the floor went up. Should I flip?" I'm like, "No, you don't flip this one. You hold on to this one because it's going to be a fun
Yeah,
ride."
it's just interesting because there's some people that play in for the flip and some people that want to actually play in for the experience. And a lot of stuff we're going to be attempting, I can't really go into yet because there's a lot of regulatory constraints and challenges that we're still trying to solve with the long-term IP. With in the interim, what we can say, it's like we are creating that new Web3 experience. Like everyone's spending so much time here, day in and day out. Like I can't tell you the last full season of a TV show I've binged through, or like even like a movie I've been excited about to go watch. And if I am feeling that, and I know a lot of other people like in my age and older are feeling that, next generation coming up only goes to show where storytelling experiences are moving towards. And it sucks. Like I don't know what film will look like in 10, 15 years from now. Like I don't know if there will be an audience appetite for the traditional, hour and a half, save the cat, beginning, middle, end, hero, villain, all that stuff we grew accustomed to of storytelling. Like there is going to be a new medium that's going to come through, and that just comes to like, where do people spend their times? Where do they want to be going? So yeah, we're really focused on like delivering a story that lets the community be involved, and kind of the way we're doing it, it's parallel because yes, we are developing an origin story of where the nuclear nerds came, and we'll be putting out various, whether they're graphic novels, NFTs, comic books that are all kind of like chapters over this year, as well as building out kind of like an incubator that allows the writers and people that want to be a part of the story to participate in that. And in order to grow the universe, obviously right now you only have 8,999 nerds. There needs to be new additions into the world. So what does that look like? And not like traditional projects or other projects in the past where it's, drop a different token and make people buy it for 0.05 or claim it with gas. But how can you drive value back to that initial nerd? So we're going to be doing a lot of stuff with different contracts and allowing potential metadata to be changed down the line, which will just inherently increase the value of the initial nerds. Knowing that, like, hey, where's this IP go? Is it, like I said, is it a movie down the line? If it's a movie, where's the distribution method? Do we even care about Netflix or Amazon, or is it fully through Web3, but there's no platform out there yet that supports it? Is it more through a play-to-earn game down the line? Potentially, but people know how long those actually take to make. What does the in-game currency look like? And then in the interim, like, how can you actually make it a gamified Web3 experience while you're building out towards all that? So it's a lot of things to solve. There's a lot of regulatory challenges in place, but I look at it much bigger than just the nerds. Like, I want to have this platform and what we're building be replicable, like where if anyone else has concepts and stories they want to tell, they can use our platform to be able to distribute it. And imagine having 15, 20 projects coming out a year where all the IP is interoperable with each other. Like, I go, what does that interactive Netflix really look like? And we're already starting to see the tools come into place with Samsung making the partnership, integrating NFTs. I would not be surprised if we even see Netflix make some announcements this year with being able to buy NFTs for certain projects or shows they have. So we're going to see a lot of change moving forward, but it's all about the experience and the story you're getting with your NFT, in my opinion. And I know for a fact there's a lot of projects coming out in the next couple months to a year that have a lot of backing behind them. I mean, you should see the people that came out of the woodworks after I launched this project and the calls I've been getting. I was like, hey, we've been wanting to launch an NFT. Can you help us? I'm like, no, you didn't finance my movie 2 years ago. Screw off. But yeah, it's going to be coming. They see money here. They're going to want to go. People just need to realize the difference between like a commercialized product you're being sold, a la like the Matrix NFT or the 100,000. Like, that's just the product. Like, that's a collectible. Great. But IP that's being born here, like, that's something different, and that's where things can really change.
Simon, like, I knew you were gonna create something really cool. When we had our Zoom conversation, knew you were looking for something really cool to do, and I'm not surprised, and I'm so ready to go on this ride with you. And I love getting to know more intimately about it. I would love at some point, in when you drop something new or something new happens, you come in and we just really focus on the storytelling and what you're doing, because I think what you just said is, first of all, a perfect way to close out this room today, that IPs being natively created is is the most exciting possibilities here.
Yeah, and people got to realize too, it's not just that. It's be very wary of these projects that are going to come in and pretending to be Web3 native and trying to wrap themselves as if they've been here. Like I know one massive production company with probably one of the top 5 well-known musicians, actors, whatever you want to call them, in the space that, yeah, they have a show that's going to be on Netflix or Amazon in 3 years. And like, okay, how do we do a marketing plan leading up to that? So they're going to be doing a drop, but like that celebrity, he's not going to be paying attention. That's not a real community. It's just a collectible you're buying. And a lot of people are going to, I think, fall into that trap of what they're buying. And I will definitely be calling out most of these projects as they come in.
Yeah, I mean, it's happened. We've seen it happen this year as well, but I agree with you. I think it's going to be off the hook.
Oh, it's
Christina, I
significant.
see. Yeah, I think, Christina, I see your hand is up, but also I feel like I've got to wrap up this room because I've got a meeting to get to. Is there something
Yeah, I
specific?
just wanted to say quickly to Simon that exactly what you were mentioning in very small scale happened to me a few years ago. There's a clothing company and famous in my country. They were supporting some filmmakers, didn't want to support me, didn't even speak to me. Now they reached me out to talking about, I don't know what they will want from me. I don't have time for them now. I need to be in Jordan's room and so on. But in 2 weeks, maybe I will have a little time for them. But they will definitely want no, but honestly, they will definitely want something. I don't know, some NFT consultation. So Simon, thank you for mentioning it, and I will be tough, or what? Because last time they didn't even speak to me, and now, yeah. So that's it.
This is what I have to say to that. I'm getting approached a lot as well, and I just basically I tell them I charge a shit ton of money because I deserve a shit ton of money. And if you want to know the knowledge that I've gathered, the knowledge that and what I've done, you have to pay a shit ton of money to me. So Christina, just give them a shit ton of money number.
Oh yeah, I'm well over. If they really want to talk, I've started well over $1,000 an hour. If they really want to dive in.
That's it. That's what I'm saying. So that's
and minimum
yes.
hours, and there's no guarantee. Like I'll listen. So I'll be their therapist and let them talk it through. But I'm not walking people through how to do an NFT anymore. Especially if I know like their in game is just another revenue stream for their company. Like fuck off, go keep making movies and TV shows. But if you're actually trying to do something different, then I'll be interested. But most of these are not. It really is just, oh, how do we create another revenue stream into our company? Like, how do we use our contacts of so-and-so celebrity or athlete to just market around them, or big brands and IP? So like I said, both are going to happen. We're going to see far ends of the spectrum. But I think long term, and this is something I really weighed back and forth all last year before I decided to like say, screw anything old, let's build new. Long term, I really believe that projects that are true Web3 and built here with like minimum viable communities and like building outwards have a much bigger chance of going mainstream long term than massive IPs, brands, celebrities coming into Web3. So yeah, if you're trying to trade or you like doing and want to make a quick pump, like there's going to be a lot of opportunity in those type of projects, but don't be left holding the bag when that celebrity goes on to their next movie.
That's it. I love that, Simon. Thank you so much. I love that you brought like this bigger IP conversation to the room today. I think it was certainly for me super exciting because I have some big IP ideas as well and have for years, but I think I was waiting for the right platform, the right Web3. Web3 is the right space. So Simon, I'm super psyched for you, and we'll bring you back when you have time to talk more about these. I think they're
For
important
sure.
ones.
And I'll give you an update. There's going to be some news probably in the next, maybe it depends. I'm too busy. Like I had to put on the back end for now, but there is something coming together with a film financing DAO that could be a game changer for a lot of independent film going forward.
Oh man.
Yeah, we'll see. But like I said, it's still risky because it's like if you're looking at it from a capital perspective, why do you want to put money into movies right now? And it sucks saying that, but pretty much any independent movie runs off the Hallmark model now. Like you got to make it for a certain point. Maybe you're looking at a 3 or 4x. There's no real moonshots as there used to be, but it's a good business model if you want to be doing that. But most of these, everyone thinks, oh, come to crypto and there's a lot of money and people are just going to give it to me. Like, no, people are in crypto because they want to make money. Like they're not just going to be throwing it out to make films. So like I said, nothing has changed on the financing side. It's just become more accessible.
Well, yeah, 100%. So we could keep talking about that, Simon. I'm not going to DM you something, and then or WhatsApp you if our WhatsApp is still open. And the rest of you guys, thank you so much for coming in, for being a part of this conversation, for being a part of this community. We have grown so much since we launched the NFT Film Squad 11 months ago, and it's been super exciting to see what you guys have been doing. Literally, I do believe I'm going to use the word first, even though I make fun of everyone who says the first, but I do think we were the people to spotlight David Bianchi and his first drop back in April, and then Jay Harry and Jen and Ian and Lauren, just to see what they've been doing, and also I keep my eyes on a lot of you guys in the community, and that's how I knew that Simon was doing such incredible work. As well. We are super grateful for you guys. As I said, my drop is 3 weeks from today. So keep an eye on that, and any retweets and any love you can give. I'm so appreciative of that. Follow each other. It's a micro action, but community is everything. Community is what Web3 is about. Join our Discord. You'll find that in my link tree. And as we love to say, in the NFT world, let's fucking go.
Let's fucking go.
Let's fucking go. Thank you guys.
Woohoo.
We'll see you next week with Julie Pacino. And until then, be good and be good to each other. Ciao.